All right.
All set?
All set.
Okay. There, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
stupids. How are you?
All right.
Shit, where is everybody?
This is it. Everybody else hates us.
Okay, well, this is BabbleGab.
Oh, that's right. This
Uh,
is Babble Lab.
so, we did get a mission from Dell.
Hang on. Let me see. Hey, what's up? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them either. Yeah, well, it has been 10 years. What are you going to do? All right. So, what do you want us to. Oh, man, really? Uh huh. All right. And how much? Oh, crap. You know, making a movie nowadays, even a sci-fi. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll put something together for you. Maybe we'll get some help out here. Who knows? You don't say. You don't say. Hmm? All right.
Who was that?
He didn't say.
Oh, eesh.
We love you, Bob Newhart.
Yeah, he flew feed.
Yeah, that was one of his best. He had a whole bunch of comedy routines like that. The one side of a phone conversation. But yeah, Adele's saying he wants us to make a sci-fi movie for about $12.
What? You don't even get a budget?
But that's about they don't they have much money, Things are rough all over. Dell hasn't had a raise in 10 years either. I don't
Well,
even know what he's been doing the last 10 years.
all right, so a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, there's
Well,
our.
what hasn't been done?
Well, they've all been done. I mean, that's not even.
I think we should go back to like the 50s sci-fi and make it
Hmm.
go that route because those were low budget and worked. So maybe here's what we should do.
All right.
Um, and that's kind of what I told Steve back when he used to uh, um, before he was a vegetable or whatever.
A vegetable?
Yeah, he used to want to do a Star Trek movie,
Oh, that's right.
and he I told him that if it's low budget, I think people are going to enjoy it more if it's funny. So I think we should maybe kind of go the campy route if we only have like $12 to do it.
That's the thing too. But you don't. The problem is intentionally making it funny is really hard not to make it lame. So it's got to like appear to be like it's not supposed to be funny.
Yeah, but we're smarter than most of those other stupid writers.
Yeah.
We did Star Trip. That was a shoestring budget when we did Star Trip.
Yeah, you actually had to sell shoestrings in order to make it.
You remember that? They were
Yeah.
different colors and they had like the little Star Trek logo thing on them.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I mean, it doesn't have to be outer space to be sci-fi. It could be like the Wasp Woman,
Yeah, there you go.
like I don't know, sci-fi and monster movies. Is that kind of are those different? I kind of figured they
They're
were
all
kind
kind
of
of in the same genre. I mean, it's um because they all kind of bend science a bit anyway. Yeah, because back in the 50s, everything was radioactivity.
oh
Like
yeah.
Spider-Man. You're like, is he strong? Listen, bud. And is he sick? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Yeah, because that would make you sick, not strong. But
So they redid because all they do now are remake movies.
yeah, but
So they
I'd rather
remake.
kind of do something semi from scratch. I mean, we could base it off of something, but
I don't want to base. I think
yeah,
they're better coming up with their own thing.
yeah.
So like they just redid Twisters. Twister.
I heard about that. It's like,
But here's the thing, it's doing really well. And
really?
yeah, and the
He,
thing is I saw some, even the critical drinker says it's pretty good.
uh,
He says it's nothing, it doesn't offer anything really new, but he says it's good, kind of good popcorn entertainment. He's in what the consensus is even though the cast is kind of diverse, there's no the main woman is it's kind of her, she's the protagonist, she's the main one. But the thing is like at the beginning, she ends up getting her storm chaser team killed.
yeah,
So
that's
that,
not,
so she's kind of got that guilt.
right,
And,
right.
so she's actually got a story arc. She's not just Miss Wonderful. So evidently there's a rival team, and it's this guy that gets like a lot of hits on YouTube for storm chasing, and he's just like some big macho honcho guy.
Oh, that's right. With the original movie, they wasn't even to YouTube.
Right. So Critical Drinker almost had a man crush on him. He said the guy he's got to be like the next movie star. And I didn't see what, but he seemed like a very Han Solo type.
Okay.
Cowboy hat and had the twinkle in his eye. And I guess he was in Top Gun Maverick.
I keep meaning to get around to watching that, but I
haven't seen any of them. But so anyway, here's the clincher: is it's a Japanese director.
Awesome.
There's none of that global warming and climate change is causing more tornadoes. None of that. And he says, people want to be entertained. They don't want messages shoved down their throats. So I'm like, well, God bless them.
Yeah.
I guess as much as I kind of wasn't rooting for anything from Hollywood, it's like I don't have a problem with it doing well now.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're not putting all that garbage in it. So anyway, that's I don't plan to see it.
Yeah, no.
I don't plan to see any movie.
I do want to see Top Gun Maverick just to see how a dude my age is flying jet fighters.
Do you think that Butt and Gottschalk are having sex?
Probably. They're certainly too busy for us.
So I did write Wesley Yore and asked him to be on the show, but I don't think that he kind of gave me an answer that wasn't a yes or a no. It was almost like an aside, like it wasn't it was almost a dodge.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't say he wouldn't, because what happened is Terry and Janet are now going to be at the FanboyCon. His company. So I wrote Wesley and said, Jeannie and Three's Company and all these people are going to be there, and I thought that maybe that would be right up you guys' alley. And he says they tried it and haven't had any luck. So I said, well, we miss you. We'd love to have you back on BabbleGab. And that's what he said. What did he tell me? Wesley, if you're watching this, we're not like if you're making your ears. Yeah, I said, look, hope to get you pop in on BabbleGab. And he said, I do too, my friend. Thank you. That's what he said. So
okay. Because he posted something today or yesterday about watching like old episodes of Password and how it was fun to see, but then it's like everybody there is gone now. Yeah.
But I said, thanks. We're a little worried about Steve Jarrett. He shut down Q-Star, put all this stuff in storage, and has been living in a motel for about a year now, trying to get him out of hiding. And he said, damn. So that's about it. I tried to get people. Steve has better luck getting in than I do.
Yeah.
He got my three sons and all that, and work from
no, not work from India.
He's from Porky's.
Oh yeah, well, rest in peace too. Damn it.
Well, we at least had him on a couple.
Yeah, we got lucky there. Well, we've had a good stream of luck. I mean, you got Spencer Milligan out of fucking hiding to get, one last credit after what was it, 20 plus years?
More than that. His last IMDb credit before mine was like General Hospital from 1987.
87. Okay, so yeah.
So it's almost like 35 years probably. So yeah, that was great to get him on there.
I'd
And
like
Ron
to.
Maysat, because he's no longer with us.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been fun if we could have gotten him on. Gotta see if we could get Stanley Livingston and Chip Douglas on at the same time.
Yeah.
So Chip Douglas and Chip Douglas.
I'm sure that Chip Douglas that only you know about, Tony's probably been floofied for 20 years.
Yeah.
If you really want to see him, I will show you the. No, it won't work. There's a video of Happy Together, the Turtles.
Ah.
It's not the Sullivan performance, which is my favorite, but there's one where they're singing amongst a bunch of like chairs, like diner chairs. It's weird.
Ah.
And he's got like Howard's got a top hat. Anyway, the bass player is Chip Douglas.
Yeah.
In that video.
Oh, okay. Because I know he's a musician and a producer.
See him in action. That's about the only.
Because when Molly and we went to a thing, because the Monkees, they made the movie in 1968 called Head. It was their major motion picture. You know, it was but Chip Douglas was there, or they talked about him or something. And so I started going da 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 da, and then Molly gives me the elbow. It's a different Chip Douglas.
Funny.
But that was where I got the picture with the gal who was on the roof in Head, and the one who was snorting Ajax, I think, in one of the Cheech and Chong movies, and she's gone. And then I had a picture standing behind Peter Tork, not unbeknownst to him. So, and he's no longer with us. And man, getting old sucks, man. I don't recommend it.
Let me send Isaac a note and see if he wants to join us. I talked to him. My friend Isaac Lemon. He's the one that does the voice for Sidney the Heckler.
Right.
Hey, Isaac. One pop into BabbleGab for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry.
No. I'll just send him our Zoom link.
Ah. But now Steve did post, I guess, his the little boy's third birthday, so they got a birthday cake and all that stuff. So he's not completely, 6 feet under, but too good for us. I know that.
All right, I'm just sending this. I'd love to see Isaac again. He was at the thing with Spencer and the Land of the Lost People.
Oh yeah.
He drove like 3 hours or something to see me at the hotel, and he stayed not with me in my bed or anything, but he got a room at the hotel with his family, and they made that trip out there to see me in Milwaukee, and that was so nice.
Yeah.
And we had breakfast, me and Isaac and Ron Maysat, and his son Drake was there. And if you're not used to Drake or severely autistic kids, and I kind of nudged him. I told Ron.
So he likes to draw pictures. So what?
Yeah, well, I said he's got autism, and Ron's like, "Oh, I know that. I know all about autism. I was on some board of blah blah blah." He's such a character.
Dang it.
And now he's floofy.
Yeah.
What the heck is that? Oh, it's kind of like a monster movie behind you.
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, in a way, it's kind of, if you don't have much of a budget, you get TV actors and a lot of stock footage. If you can get stock footage, that always helps. and then you just need like an extreme close-ups of ordinary bugs. Now the thing is, they've done Mothra and they've done them, which was ants, and they've done praying mantises. And I don't know if anybody was going to pay to see a bunch of cockroaches. It could be the cockroach. But
yeah,
maybe it'd be a different. But the thing is, you could do ladybugs, but I don't know if you could make a ladybug scary.
well, I don't want to anyway, because I'm sick of that Stephen King bullshit where he takes something that kids are supposed to love and try and makes them afraid of them.
Oh, like clowns and St. Bernards.
Clowns and wasps and things.
And St. Bernard, because Cujo was a St. Bernard. It wasn't even a mean dog.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand Stephen King.
Well, nobody can. Even he can't. He didn't like himself.
Between him and Mark Hamill and some of those others, they're just like the most obnoxious people out there. Ron Perlman's one of them. And,
oh, that guy.
They're just like, so they're the people that were in the Bible that had the demons in them, that Jesus had to exorcise the demons out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the kind of people they are.
That and they've beaten the crap out of the money changers in the temple.
Well, they deserved it.
Oh, of course. Everybody thinks Jesus was a wimp. Hell no, he would beat the crap out of those fuckers.
Well, people who've never read the Bible think that Jesus was just this smiling
hippie,
yeah. And it's like, no, he said, I didn't come here to bring peace. I came here to bring the sword or whatever. He says, if you follow me, basically half your family's going to hate you and desert you. And really, if you read the Bible, I don't think he ever said anything that was like fun or funny or you know what I mean, pleasant. It's like everything he said was very kind of sad.
Yeah.
A little dark, I mean, it was wise, everything he said, but and true, but it was still, well, hey there.
Oh my God. They got to unmute.
You're muted.
Lucky. Or Lucy. I can't quite tell.
I think it says Lucy. You're muted, Steve. You're muted.
There we go.
There you go.
Now say something.
What did that do?
There we go. Now we got you. How's it going, man? Long time no see.
It's been like 3 years.
How's it going?
All right. We're just hanging in there. We were talking about you.
Yeah.
I know, I heard you.
Yeah, we're trying to get Wesley back in, but I was telling Tony, it's like, you're the only one that has any luck getting people.
He likes me.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd give him the guilt trip by telling him kind of your situation, and that maybe he'd get over here to try to, because remember when you first got rid of Q-Star or something, he really got upset and he did everything he could to help. So I was kind of hoping, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
I wonder if he was a regular listener to Q-Star.
Probably.
I don't think so.
Oh, hi, Vicky.
Vicky's back here, too.
Hey.
Hey. We got 2 kids going to school in 3 weeks. Little man's going to school.
They got school for 3-year-olds now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I always thought it was 5.
No, Head Start.
It's been a while, so I thought I'd pop in and say, hey.
Yeah.
Has been
We haven't filled it yet.
Hey, Steve.
Say what?
Can you go to the Tampa Con or the Orlando Fanboy thing this year?
I don't know.
When is it?
The Fanboy thing in Orlando is in September, and they're going to have Janet and Terry from Three's Company, and they're going to have Barbara Eden
Yeah.
and some people. So I'm going to there. I think Gottschalk's going too, and Wendy Renshaw. And
In
we're also
Orlando.
yeah, and we're also going to TampaCon this year. It'll be my first time.
Ah.
I went there a couple years ago.
Yeah, we went to Cuba.
That's where I saw Marina Sirtis,
Oh yeah.
and she shook my hand.
Oh.
He hasn't watched it.
Well,
Yep.
I might just splurge and get a few autographs this time. I think it's stupid paying for autographs, but you know what? Those people aren't going to be around forever.
No,
especially
we've already Remedy, you know, it's like
Mama's family's going to be there at one of them.
not Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah, she's going to be dressed as Mama.
oh my god.
Is she really?
Yeah,
But she didn't have
I
to
can't
put
remember if
she
that's
just doesn't have to
Fanboy or-
use the age makeup anymore, probably.
I think it's going to be at the Fanboy one Orlando. It seems like the Fanboy Orlando is a little more like Chiller in New Jersey. It's a little more.
Is she really gonna dress up as Mama?
That's what it shows.
It probably looks like that now anyway.
But the problem is you've got to get you. It looks like it's a package deal. You've got to get all of their autographs. You know that her, daughter and
Oh yeah, because
you know,
otherwise it's like everybody wants one and the other ones just sit there going, what are we supposed to do?
well, you know what? If Ken Berry was still around, it might be worth it. But
Is he?
no, he's floofied a few years ago.
Oh, sad.
But I mean, if I would have liked to, I would have probably paid decent money to get Ken Berry in.
Oh yeah, he passed in 2018.
Yeah.
Now Chip
Ken
Douglas
Berry,
Chip Douglas is still around. He's going to turn 82 next month.
Stanley Livingston?
No, Chip Douglas, the record producer. But I'd like to get him and Stanley Livingston, because Stanley Livingston didn't know who the other Chip Douglas was. Remember, I brought him up when we had him on.
I
Yeah.
think you really have to be a Monkees fan or a Turtles fan to get that reference.
We can enlighten some people. We can give them a little culture, you know. 'Cause
Certainly,
people
but-
today have never heard anything. Oh yeah, and you know,
That's-
Big Bob does still play your promo. He just doesn't do it right in the top of the show anymore.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that he plays it towards the end of the show now.
Yeah.
Well, Q-Star is not dead, hopefully. I'm going to bring it back sometime.
Sweet.
You can do it in your car.
Oh, sure. There we go.
Or you get an old van and just like a whole ice cream truck and have it like a mobile unit.
Hey, Steve, I got to get you to do some more Steve Rini lines. I don't have them written now, but you can just do it into your phone, Steve, and send me the video file.
Isn't that going to sound like shit?
Well, it won't sound as good as your microphone, but what can I do? It sounds better than me trying to be Steve Rini.
Mm.
I forgot my microphone when I went to Missouri, and I was having Judy doing more Transforama lines, so I just had her do it on my phone. It sounds okay. Basically the thing is, as long as it's not overmodulated, as long as you're like right into it, going, it'll probably be all right. As long as there's
Didn't
no
you have Spencer Milligan do his lines into a phone?
He did it into my GoPro, which is about the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that. We actually have people in chat. Didn't even see. It's like, hey, Gwen. And yeah, she was,
Oh, sorry.
Bob Newhart. Because I was definitely doing the little Bob Newhart there at the beginning with the one-sided telephone conversation. And Lewis is there. Hi, Lewis.
Oh, hi, Lewis.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We've been neglecting all our chatters here.
Well, I can't have Facebook and YouTube on at the same time, so I can't see.
That's cool.
Well,
We'll relay it.
I don't play I don't play the video. I just go.
But I thought that bit Big Bob played for Bob Newhart on Saturday was hilarious. I never heard that one before.
Oh, yeah. Bob Newhart, he was the first, I think he had the first spoken word album ever to hit number one.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, before Bob
Button
Newhart,
down
all the time. What?
Button Down Mind of Bob Newhart.
Yep. It was
comedy
61,
before
right?
Bob
Same year
Newhart
I was
was like-
born.
Yeah, it was all. I guess the comedy before him was all stuff that wasn't funny, but you figured you were supposed to laugh, like Take My Wife, Please kind of stuff. And then Bob Newhart actually, I guess he was like the first kind of real stand-up that kind of brought everyday.
And I mean, prior to that, a comedian was, hey, we wear a stupid little funny hat, and blah, 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 blah. And Bob Newhart was all low key. And for some reason, it was twice as funny as everybody else.
Which is what I think what like Naked Gun is, how it was played straight, and that's what made it funny.
Yeah,
Well,
you mean
the second one,
yeah.
they kind of lost that.
Right.
The third one, they lost it even more. It just became more like clown.
Because that's what I was saying earlier. Trying to make things funny is often backfires on you because it just ends up being like stupid.
Well, I take comedy very serious.
Oh yeah, no, it's harder, I think, than drama.
Oh, definitely. Anybody drama, all you have to do is hang around 2 or 3 people, and you got drama.
Yeah.
Live here and you got drama.
Why does it say lollipop on your hat, Steve?
Lollipop, lollipop.
Lucky.
That is lucky.
Oh, Lucky Pop.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lucky Pop. That sounds
Yahee
actually
Pop.
like a good piece of candy name.
Or as that one singer sang the song was Yahee Pop. Yahee Pop, huh? People can't say an L sound, they make it into a Y.
Well, I was waiting for Goat's Cop to come here because I found the pictures of the Bluebell ice cream factory.
Ah.
Would you like to see them?
Well, unless you want to save him for Gottschalk.
He might not ever come back again.
Yeah, he's
He
gonna.
usually does.
Well, he
I
commented
think
on Steve's birthday party picture
When? A week ago?
10 minutes ago. Well, when I looked at it, it was 10 minutes ago. It's now like
Where-
30 minutes.
Where is he then?
He's too good for us. Look at these guys. See, this is the thing. You get like authentic looking equipment, which you can find. And I mean, yeah, you're not going to, you could find somebody who has a Cessna 195 like that one back there. Oh. Now watch out. But what kind of bug would you want to put into a sci-fi movie? Like I said, they've done ants, and they've
I
done
think
praying
we should
mantises.
go with the wasp again because the first one doesn't even count because it was so stupid.
Yeah, because it wasn't a real wasp. I was thinking a ladybug, but the problem is you really can't make a ladybug scary. And everybody just looks up at it's like Attack of the Giant Puppy Dog. It's like a 50-foot like puppy dog, and everybody just looks up at the puppy dog and goes, "Aww."
Yeah, but like I said, I don't want to get into Stephen King territory.
Oh no,
where they
it would.
afraid
Yeah,
of-
it would end up not being scary. It would just be just a giant puppy dog.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do
Remember
a
that
giant
puppy
kitten.
dog in Never-Ending Story that had like the big long tail.
That's right. There you go. I didn't watch that movie because I think I don't want to go there if it never ends. What are you going to do? You just sit there for fucking days and days.
Oh, they
Damn
lied
thing
to you.
never
It
ends.
does. Well, it has like a part 2 is what I think what they're trying to say.
Ah,
So-
okay.
well, like Freddy and Nightmare on Jersey and all
Oh
that
yeah,
had-
Freddy and the Cruisers. I remember that
Those
one.
were never-ending stories.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera. You can tune in 10 years later and pick up right where you left off. Oh, it's funny, Steve. I was Big Judy. She was watching some soap, and I just can't. I said, "Oh, I just looked at the people there. I said, "Oh, you're watching The Beautiful People, huh?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "What show was this?" She said, "The Bold and the Beautiful."
The Old and the Beautiful. There you go.
That was what it was. I was just like, "Oh, you're watching The Beautiful People, huh?" She's got the COVID now. She got the coof.
Now everybody gets COVID like every other week. I only ever had it once.
We
I
did.
never had it, but knock on wood. And if I did have it, I didn't know it. Were you, Steve? Were you here like last October when I got really sick?
We were here. No, he wasn't online.
I think I heard about it.
Yeah, where I spent the better part of 2 days in ER, and they gave me 3 spinal taps and
Oh, I
a
remember that. Yeah.
CAT scan and a ultrasound and all this other bullshit and a $5,000 bill.
Sweet.
All because I had just a flu.
Now I've heard. I don't know if this is true or not, But I've heard that medical bills don't show up on your credit.
I've heard that too, but they do.
I think they do, but they don't have as much weight as
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah, they don't hold it against you.
Because when I had my nose kind of ported out, because it didn't have enough airflow through my nose, and so they went in there, and the fucking I saw this ear, nose, and throat doctor who must have weighed 400 pounds. And he's looking into my nose and shit. He's got the little magnifying thing, and he's like pushing his belly up against me and trying to get close enough to look into it. Oh, yeah, good God. But I had that done. And so, because I couldn't really breathe through my nose before, I was one of them mouth breathers, like from the, they always make fun of. And so they fixed that. And I got a bill. The anesthesiologist is like poking around my forearm to try and find a vein, because, when you're a little chubby, it's kind of hard. And I ended up with a bruise that covered like this much. And then he gave up on that part, and then he went in on the top of my hand. And this son of a bitch has the balls to send me another bill. Like, stupid. The hell with that? The hell no. And then I got another bill. This is severely past due, 34 cents. I say, hey, shove it up your butt.
Oh, it's like I got a letter from the IRS a couple months ago. Like,
now those guys, yeah, you got to pay attention to those guys.
It was I owed $10.60 in back taxes. Like,
oh my God. And $9.40 of that was fucking interest, right?
Probably.
Don't come take your house over $10.
Well, it was over my YouTube money that I forgot to.
Oh boy, yeah, because you're a YouTube millionaire now. When do we get to be YouTube millionaires? Oh, look at that, Cessna 195.
There's fewer now because everybody's got ad blockers.
Yeah.
So all of our revenue's been cut in half. I don't care because I would rather have half that revenue than have to go through ads.
Yeah.
On YouTube. So
he keeps fooling with that airplane. Leave that plane alone, man. It's a Cessna 195. I love it. But yeah, see, they went to the North Pole and they found all this snow. I mean, who knew?
Wasn't there a movie about the Norge or the Italian?
Yeah, it was called The Red Tent. It's called The Red Tent. I saw it in theaters back around 1970. It was actually a Russian production.
It was probably about the Italian because the Norge, I don't think it crashed.
Yeah, it was the Italian because it was, and I guess the gondola came off and then the gas bag went somewhere else. So there were like two groups of people.
Oh, that's kind of like what the Shenandoah did.
Yeah.
Only I would have rather been in the Shenandoah and crashed in Ohio.
Rather than Antarctica is no fun.
Yeah. What else you got going on, Steve? What else is new? We hadn't talked to you in like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Not much. I cut off all communication with the theater. They're being buttheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, theater people are like that. I'm in another place, Steve.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, a sequel to the one last year. Again, I didn't want to do it, just like I didn't want to do the one last year. But I really don't need that right now because I've got so many other things I'm trying to do, and that takes up so much time. I've got to go to Jacksonville tomorrow. It's my drummer, Treble Clef Gary's 70th birthday. So.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, Steve, the new album has been submitted for digital distribution.
Yay!
Nice.
And I'm in the process of getting CDs made.
Sweet.
Like,
yeah.
There's a blast from the past CD. So I almost didn't want to do it, but I was telling Tony, it kind of validates it a little more.
A little bit, and yeah, some people want like a keepsake, like a souvenir.
Kind of is.
Got to get it on vinyl.
Well, the thing is, a CD to get 100 pressed for CDs is going to cost $400 or $500. If I get it on vinyl, it'd probably be 10 times that.
No, Steve. The latest thing now is 8-track.
Oh,
and you got to have that fucking piece of damn matchbook. Remember like shove the little piece of cardboard in one corner so it would play right.
I just don't understand how that ever hit the market, that crap.
I remember on a record player once, I had one where the needle wouldn't stay on the record very well, so I put a penny on it,
Yeah.
and it held it down.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just saying, for all the money it took to develop the 8-track, because I'm sure it cost 20 or 30 bucks to develop it, they could have spent to make the already existing cassette tape high enough fidelity or stereo or whatever.
That's the thing. Well, the problem with the cassette.
Years later, anyway.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden cassettes were like high fidelity because the cassette was only ever meant to record voice. It was supposed to be for like voice memos and to replace the dictaphone, really. And the 8-track was because it was a wider tape format and all that. And so it was supposed to be higher fidelity. It didn't really work out that way.
My dad had a computer. He had a computer once, and all the data would be on a cassette.
Oh, yeah, that was a big thing back then, tape drives.
So here's my thing. Okay, let's just say that the technology to have high fidelity, you had to have a wider tape than
Right.
standard cassette. Fine. But why couldn't it just be reel to reel? Why did they have to do that thing where it skips and all that other bullshit? That was so stupid.
Oh, yeah, sometimes on an 8-track, it would skip right in the middle of the song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't rewind it, could you?
There were some players that could. No, they couldn't rewind, but they could fast forward because it was taking the tape from the inside of the reel. Because you couldn't stuff it like putting toothpaste back into a tube. You couldn't stuff the tape back into the inside of the reel because there was only one reel. And it would take it off it would take it out of the middle, the inside, and then put it back on the outside.
My mom gave me when I was 14 maybe or 13, for Christmas she gave me a boombox. And it had of course the radio tuner, it had the cassette, and on the side it had an 8-track port.
Whoa, that's big time.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I remember like kissed her in wards when she bought it and everything. I was just like so excited. And even though I might have used the 8-track once maybe.
Oh, I had the 8-track in my bug. And so the problem with 8-tracks, yeah, exactly. That's what I had one installed in my anus, you dumb. But no, bug. I had a VW bug. But and you have two options with 8-tracks. You have two options with 8-tracks. You either A, listen to the same one constantly from now until doomsday, or B, you have a case of them which is the size of a Buick that has like 5 tapes in it.
So how'd you change the song? Did you have to fart?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
But
my dad had a box of his tapes that he'd listened to in the truck, and I after he floofied, I took the box of tapes, and I haven't been able to listen to them because they sat in my box for a while, and then they were in a flood.
Oh shit!
When I lived in Alabama, so they were all ruined. So I never got to really listen to my dad's tapes, and but it's tough because I could listen to his tapes and say, and when I'm in, waiting to go to heaven for how many years, because I want to tell Dad I really like this song. And find out he says, "Oh, that tape belonged to some other person." That I didn't even listen to that. You know what I mean? So it's just like it probably wouldn't do any. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Neither do I.
What?
But I don't think when you get up there, you get up there, we're going to be talking about friggin' 8-track tapes. I think there's probably going to be other things going on.
I hope it's better than here.
It ought to be.
It's supposed to be. There's people that say it's like kind of like we're the analogy would be that we're like in the womb, So it's like when a person comes out of the womb and they're a person, they don't even really remember the womb. So it's I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is you're in there and it's nice and warm, and you don't have to worry about food or anything else, just perfect. And then all of a sudden you get pooped out of the dang thing, and it's all light everywhere, and some assholes hitting you on the ass.
Well, this new generation, they go right back into the womb again.
I guess.
Isaac said he can't tonight, but he will next week.
No, that doesn't do us any
What?
good.
Oh, Wesley?
No, I wish you need to ask Wesley because he doesn't listen to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
No,
He only
Isaac.
likes me because he likes Vicky.
Ah, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I just,
Well,
well, he probably does.
no, my friend Isaac, he's the one that does Sidney the Heckler. Remember the one that was giving Admiral Dickhead such a hard time?
Oh, yeah.
Star Trip.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he also played the Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yes, he did in Saturdalia. So it would be kind of neat to have him on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because he's not in the new film. Not sure where I would put him.
You know, I was just thinking, it's too bad Charles Nelson Riley isn't alive. I'd love to have to get him on here.
He'd
We
be
don't
like
need it
100.
because you can do his voice.
Yeah, you're pretty much there in spirit.
Nah, I do the overacting voice of Hoodoo. He just, in fact, I saw an interview with him today talking about when he did Hoodoo.
Oh yeah.
He said that he had to do overacting for that.
Oh,
Isn't that what actors do?
generally
Especially
actors
comedy
love
actors.
overacting.
Yeah.
Look at Molly.
Because he would be 93 now if he was still around.
Forgot when he passed away. It was
07.
it 07? Okay.
Yeah, because he was on near the end of his life. I think he was on the Late Show. I think with either.
So he'd be on with Johnny Carson a lot.
Yeah, but near the end he was on. I think he was on a Late Show either with. It would have been with Kilborn or with Tom Snyder. I think it was with Kilborn.
Oh, that, yeah.
It seems like 07 was it was like 2016 were just a lot of noteworthy or a lot of big names floofied.
Yeah.
Especially like in my sake in like the music industry and people, it's like like the music that I like, the 60s music. It's like, oh, who's this? Oh, they died in 2007. Oh, this person died in 2007. Charles Nelson Riley, floofied, 2007.
Yeah.
And then 2016 was when everybody else floofied, Princess Leia and David Bowie and all those other people. You could like have a.
Well, I remember Bowie, like, that was, because I get all the little news things on my phone that just pops up on the screen. And I saw that, and it said David Bowie passed away. And I actually looked at the phone and I said, bullshit.
Yeah, because he never said he was sick or anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Freddie Mercury. He just kind of was gone, and there wasn't really a lot of hubbub before that. I mean, someone like Steve who loves 80s music, it's got to be harder on you, Steve, because it's like every single 80s icon is floofied except Sting. It's like, I don't want to think Sting, but they're all gone. I mean, Rick Ocasek.
Yeah, don't jinx Sting.
Do what?
Don't jinx Sting.
No, I mean Rick Ocasek, Tina Turner, David Bowie, Eddie Money.
Oh, come on, Free Fallin'.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty. Well, Tom Petty died twice. Because that was back when I was still driving around listening to the radio. And in the morning of that day, it was always Tom Petty passed away. And then it started going, oh, I'm free falling. And then later I was like, oh, no, he's not dead. And then later I was like, yeah, he is. So he died twice.
And
Well, how many times has Paul McCartney died,
Well, I think that's a conspiracy theory.
Well, of course it is.
Well, yeah.
Because he's like the last one left anyway. I mean, just him and Ringo.
Yeah, but Ringo doesn't care.
But Ringo lived forever.
Yeah.
And he was the oldest of the whole bunch.
Was he?
Yep.
Is he?
Ringo?
Yep, born 1940. 7/7/19. Same birthday as Allie, 7/7. And
She was born in 1940?
No. Same birthday.
She was on the show right now if I said that.
Spit it
Do you
out.
know what Paul McCartney was doing, what he was so busy doing that he couldn't let them in himself?
I think he was like just working the bar or something. Da-da, 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 da-da. Well, it's like Phil and I think the Everly Brothers were showing up. Phil and Don.
This
He
would
said
be a
Phil.
good time to like do our Betos and Fat Albert because Gottschalk's not here to interrupt us.
You know, I haven't really done any voices in almost a year of anything.
Yeah, look, it's like falling off a bicycle. You never forget how.
Fall off a bike.
I tried. Oh, like Joe Biden. I didn't say.
Good gravy.
There's rumors that he's in hospice care or that he already floofied. You know,
He's like Tom
Joe
Petty.
Biden?
He's like Tom Petty.
Oh,
well, I think it's possible he like floofied 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know.
well, Trump obviously debated somebody.
That Secret Service lady resigned.
Yeah.
Oh, that short lady that couldn't get the gun back in her.
No, the one who's actually in charge of the damn thing.
No, they had a Secret Service that was so proud of all of her diversity hires.
Oh yeah. That really helped her.
Congress was tearing her a new one. Even the Democrats too. Even AOC. Everybody was.
I know. I watched some of that today.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
And why do people they go in front of Congress, but they won't answer the question? They'll start dancing around the question.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, I kind of like Nancy Mace, but her saying bullshit and saying the S word, I'm like, come on.
So tell me, did you eat a bite out of that burger? Well, thank you for the question, Senator. We take these very seriously. We unwrap things and we wrap things, and in between there's a burger. Did you
It's
eat
a
the
yes or
burger?
no question. It's a yes or no question, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny watching them do that ballet dance. It's just,
Yeah.
it's almost
Oh,
like
that Mayorkas, he's a real joker.
Well, I wonder if everything's choreographed and they all come out. Even that director of Secret Service, they all come out. They got like slap each other in the back and they go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a Secret Service, why are they showing up there with their face? They should be like, they should have like hats on and shit like that where you can't see them.
Yeah, what's so secret about them?
Yeah, they should be looking like ninjas and stuff.
You know, originally the Secret Service it's from the Treasury Department, and it was originally they only were going after counterfeiters because they were the Treasury Police.
Well, you know, now that we mentioned him, the algorithm will alert.
Al Gore's got no rhythm.
Yeah, I've seen him try to do it. Tap dance. They're saying at first he said that there was nobody on that roof because the pitch of the roof the slope was too. It's like a 112 roof. It's like it's barely enough to have rain drop off of it, and then because it was too hot. What?
Well, they just send a cat up there if it's a hot tin roof.
Yes.
Then I saw some wacko saying the whole thing was staged by Trump.
Oh, that's what.
I know they have like the best sharpshooter since Annie Oakley taking a shot just to make sure they hit the tip of the ear. Like, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, no, have you ever fired a gun or a weapon, a rifle? No, you can't. Yeah, everything's an AR-15. Back in the 80s, everything was an AK-47, and now everything's an AR-15.
I remember that.
I don't know. There was an AR-15.
AK was Russian in the air. Well, it's the old M16, the old.
I can't tell the difference between water guns and AR-15s.
Oh, there you go. Well, we better. Well, just as long as you treat them like they're always loaded, you're cool. Just don't point them at
the water gun or the AR-15.
Anything. Just don't point them at anybody. Because my dad taught me, even when I was playing around with dart guns and shit and cap pistols, not to point them at anybody.
Speaking of loaded guns, when I talked to Judy, it turns out that they did get the lineman to come out there and disconnect everything at the burnt house. Because you weren't here, Steve. You remember, my cousin's house that had the fire.
Yeah.
So my cousin Don, Big Don, who's like 6'8", Big Don. He's out there. He's like, here, let's go. Let's cut this line. It goes from the telephone pole to the house. He's like, yeah, they turned it on. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, well, look, they turned it off. That the meter's not even there. See, they took it out. I'm like, and I told him, I basically let him know that's a loaded gun, and you're taking someone's word for it that there's not a bullet, but you're still going to click it to your head is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I put the jazz on enough where he got second thoughts and he backed off and didn't do it. And so they got some. I mean, that's just something you don't play around with.
Oh, of course. And so you got a lineman for the county?
Yeah. It was actually the guy that made the song, Billy Idol. He came out and
Glenn Campbell.
Webb. Glenn Campbell.
Jimmy Webb, yeah.
Jimmy Campbell Webb.
Well, that was the thing. That was so funny. A couple of years back, you know, they had the new Jimmy Webb telescope, space telescope, and Molly was going to make a show, and I said, you know, how about having a Jimmy Webb show with space stuff, and it would be the James Webb telescope and Jimmy Webb music.
Yeah, because I heard that they found a cake out in the rain, like 40,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're 2,000 light years from home, you know, it's kind of a drag.
I mentioned this before, and I'm not one of those people, so I don't want you mad, Tony. But did we discuss if we had such telescopes, are they able to see our flag and stuff on the moon?
Well, the flag is probably faded to nothing by now, but there are reflectors up there.
So we can see our junk up there. Okay.
Well, not your junk, but some stuff up
there.
I
mean, my junk's not that big.
And the world is round and it's curved, and you get up in a plane, you can see the curvature. And you know, the flat Earth people, they're kidding. They're having fun with you, and they're laughing while everybody, oh my God, people think the Earth is flat. They're having fun with you, and you fall for it every time.
Well, then you got these people kind of on the left who say, you know, if you don't want the VAX or something, they say, well, they think the Earth is flat, and they use that as like some weird cop. Oh, is that your motel?
Now, can you see the sky up there?
Yeah.
There's clouds.
Yeah, all the leaves are brown, and this guy is gray.
This guy is gray.
This guy is gray. I do have gray body paint. Well, I'd have to mix the black and the white to have gray body paint.
So, Steve, what do you think about the long hair? I've never had long hair. Even back in the 70s, I didn't.
I was noticing that last week. I was kind of cool.
You like it? Okay, because yeah, I mean, Timmy loves it. I'm kind of. I just hate waking up with hair in my damn mouth.
Why do you? I don't. My hair. I've had hair go down to my belly button. It's never ended up in my mouth.
Maybe I need to let it grow longer. I don't know.
Well, maybe not down to my belly button, but it's gotten my hair's gotten way like past my nipples long, and I've never got it in my mouth. Or you know, unless I'm like on a boat or something, it might, and I got to like put it back on a hat or something.
I need to shave.
I actually shaved this morning.
Well, if you shave, you won't be able to do your Hunter Biden impression.
That's true with the cigarette hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That ended up on a Precious Moments reel, didn't it?
Yeah.
I need to make a new. Yeah, there you go. Too much clothes on though. But I need.
Please, let's not go through that level of authenticity.
I can take it off.
I just got so much damn stuff going on.
Well, I'm not cutting theater all out together. I'm going to another theater now.
Ah, yeah, but it's got poles. The theater.
It's the theater I did Pirates of Penzance at.
Ah, okay. Yeah, if it's got poles, it's not really a theater. It's another kind of venue.
Evidently, my theater did Follies recently, so I guess they were all in the bird costumes, kicking their legs up too. It's like
there you go.
You guys did Follies?
Not me particular, but my theater did. I saw a picture of it.
I was in that last year before last. I had a bit part. I had so little to do that in between the show, I can come out and sit in my car for an hour and a half and watch videos.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, guess who's doing the who's just joined us yesterday for as a stagehand? The man who plays Kent, the executive in our film.
Oh,
The one that had the tape reel stolen when he came out of the bath when he was in the bathroom.
Sorry.
He was also Scrooge, when I was
now see,
Marvin.
they had gay people in the military back then.
Gay people.
Yeah.
Gay military. Yeah.
Boy, I always thought they all were anyway.
No, just the Navy.
I'm joining the Marines. I want to look for a few good men.
Well, it kind of reminds me of if you remember in the 80s when they
your
had
cards
this
and
thing that
letters.
played the music. It was MTV. They played music videos.
Oh, I remember that.
In the 80s they did. And then they were MTV, but it was just muck television instead of music after a while.
It was just
But
TV.
when it
No
was
ad.
music television, there was a Billy Joe song called Allentown.
Oh yeah.
And the music video, I'll never forget, I thought it was funny because, a 13-year-old, when you see naked people, you just laugh. But yeah, it had this shower scene of these like steel workers, and they all were naked in the shower, scrubbing their buttholes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
it
sure
was
that's
right
what they
there
were
on
doing.
MTV.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And
I'm sure that's what they were doing. I don't. Yeah. It's just. Yeah, I'm
What?
sure that's what happened.
look it up.
I'll have to find out.
Look it up, Steve, because Tony thinks I'm lying. But anyway, so there's an interview with Billy Joel after the fact, and he talked about the producer of that video. He didn't realize that he was gay, and he thought that he just took his word for it and thought that the video was just okay, just artistic, showing these guys in the shower room scrubbing their butts, and he didn't realize that the guy was gay and was kind of planting his own like fetishy stuff in his video. I don't, like I said, Porky's to me was just, it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. Or like Who Framed Roger Rabbit when Jessica Rabbit falls out of the car.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Timmy, if since Tony Gagnos is no longer with us, you're going to stop impersonating him?
Hell no, I'm going to double down now. He's not here to beat my ass anymore.
Because you two never resolved the issue about Mickey the next day.
No, because that was your issue. I just brought it up.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to kick your ass over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you joined them. For those of you who don't know, Steve brought up the point that in Porky's 2, the character Mickey, who in the first one got his clock cleaned by Porky. I mean, his lungs collapsed and he was just...
Broken ribs.
Yeah, broken. He was a mess. Teeth out, whatever. And the next movie was called Porky's 2 the Next Day. And he like beep, he's in this truck. Hey guys. And he's like, perfect.
Yeah.
And Steve brought that up. I didn't even notice. And so I mentioned it to
That was your first mistake, yeah.
In the movies. And boy, he just tore me a new one. And he wouldn't have done it on his own, but he had a tag team. He had Ken Wall, another actor, with him. And they just tore into me. And Steve joined them. And it was Steve's observation that I was repeating. And Steve's like, yeah, why don't you blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? You're supposed to be on my team.
Yeah, but Tony Gagnos is bigger than me. I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever even listened to that episode again. That was too uncomfortable.
I hope you still have the raw recording of that, because it was like 18 hours long.
No, the first one with Tony was, we were on the phone with him for 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
I still have unaired conversations with him.
Good.
Did you know we have 2 Wrong Channel episodes with him? Just so you did. I forgot that you did, but you did do a part 2 of his interview on the Wrong Channel. So we do have.
Yeah.
I thought the second one was probably more interesting than the first. And the second one is when we started doing impressions for him, and he said when you did Hoodoo, he knew what you were doing. He's like, wow, that's great. He said Charles Nelson Riley's a hard voice, so he knew Hoodoo was Charles Nelson Riley. So he was impressed. You
Yeah.
loved your Andy Griffith and Casey stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think when I started doing Paul and John, he's like, listen, fellas.
No, because on Phil on the Max Radio, they still play that Big Fry commercial that you did. That was great.
Ooh.
No, the commercial they did for a DJ on Max Radio, but Steve did the Casey Kasem, and it's just fucking spot on.
Oh yeah, because I like Steven. I don't really watch Steven Crowder much anymore, but he does great impressions. But when he did Casey, I'm just like, no, just leave that to Steve.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Steven Crowder tried doing Casey, and I'm just like, leave it to Steve.
Brother.
He does a good Trump, and he does a good My Pillow guy, and he does some good impressions, but he can't even touch.
Yeah, I have a real hard time doing Trump for some reason. That's just hard to do.
And everybody knows it.
I found out that I could do Dr. Phil, but it was on accident.
Yeah. Well, that's only the way you do it.
Yeah, it was like, can you promise me, Tony? Can you promise me that you won't get revenge on? I can't do it now, but I did it accidentally once. I'll have to work on it. I figured that if I did his voice and just call it Dr. Bill,
yeah, there you go.
It work better because it won't totally. And that's one thing about Molly that kind of Molly, if you're watching this, I love you, but it's like whenever I do an impression on a fun hour, she's like, "Oh, you get a bad impression of." Is it everything? Do you have to put everybody down when they do an impression? Say it's a bad impression of somebody. You know what I mean? It's kind of rude. And the thing is,
you do a great Paul and George, though.
Insult me twice. It's like, wait, that's double jeopardy. You've already insulted me, and now you're going to insult me in the rerun.
But you do a great Paul and John, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the ones that she picks apart and says, oh, bad Beatles. Fuck off. If you're watching this,
no, for God's sake, have you ever seen the Beatles TV, the cartoon show that for years I thought I had imagined because I never saw it on TV? I remember seeing it back in the day when it came out and not since. And then I saw some recently, and they've got good old Paul Frees doing voices, I think doing both John and George. And Paul Frees, is the voice of Boris Badenov. And he sounds so John Lennon sounds almost like fucking Boris Badenov without the accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not great impressions.
No.
Who was it that I was trying to do, but it came out sounding like what was his name? That
Obama?
doctor. He's a mad scientist on one of the cartoons. I think it's a Bullwinkle cartoon.
Boris.
No, it's not Boris.
I forget if there was.
I can't remember.
Simon Bar-Sinister? No, that was.
Simon Bar-Sinister.
Yeah, that was Underdog.
Yeah.
Underdog, which had the best cartoon theme of any cartoon in the world ever in history.
The last fun hour, I played the Underdog theme.
But I mean, the harmonies and the way it kind of just builds in. It just, I love it.
It just has some big instruments, like it has like some kind of oboe or cor anglais and some weird stuff in it, accordions. I'd like to hear it with more of a rock.
It sounds like the same one who did the Underdog theme sang Speed Racer theme.
I saw a little thing about Speed Racer the other day. So that was made in Japan in like 65, and they made like 52 episodes. And then someone in America bought them and redubbed them in like 67 as Speed Racer.
Yeah. That movie was horrible, Speed Racer.
Oh, yeah. So was the video game. But you know what? It's like they should have. There's so many iconic 60s shows, Star Trek and Gilligan's Island and Speed Racer, that only lasted like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
They're still in modern, every conversation. And it's like they could have gone on a long time if they'd had a good piece of writing.
Seriously, like Gilligan's Island, how many? 3 seasons?
Yeah.
First season in black and white, and then 2 more, and then Star Trek was only 3, and it was Star Trek. The 3rd season was kind of sawed off in the middle, wasn't it?
But Natalie Schaefer and Tina Louise hated doing Gilligan's.
I think Natalie kind of eventually made peace with it, and Tina Louise was kind of always pissed off at it.
I think
She's the only one
finally
left now.
Tina Louise has finally made peace with it now that she's
Yeah.
like.
Although
85
she was
years
kind
old.
of bitching a little bit about, and you know, it was justifiable. But you know, they released like Funko Pops or some fucking thing, you know, dolls of the, and using her
they're not
likeness,
getting
and she
any
didn't get
royalties for their
a nickel
likeness.
out of it.
That's what Spencer Milligan finally quit Land of the Lost. That was like his last straw. Was all the lunch boxes that were made in their likenesses, and
Yeah.
it's kind of petty, but I think there was a lot of other stuff, you know, talking to him. And
Well,
that was
Leonard
just kind of
Nimoy
nice.
went through that too.
But the thing is that Spencer was also the advocate for the kids.
Yeah.
He was concerned about them too. So it's kind of sad that
And somebody asked in the Land of the Lost group on Facebook about Marshall, Will, and Holly. Wasn't it Rick Marshall and Wesley himself answered, said, "Yeah, it was it was Marshall, Will, and Holly. It was just they called him Marshall because he was like an official dude, and so they called him by his last name."
It was still a little bizarre. I think it was whoever wrote. You know what I think it was is whoever wrote the song wasn't filled in on everything.
Yeah, or that's how it fit the tune.
Rick Marshall,
Yeah,
Will and Holly. I'm just glad we were talking about it earlier. I'm so glad I got to talk with him at the bar, and I told him how much that he was even a cooler dad than the Bradys.
Yeah.
Than Mike Brady, and he was kind of flat.
Now that's the guy that hated doing the show.
Huh? Oh yeah,
That's the guy that hated doing the show.
Well, they gave him this
Robert
big
Reed.
story about it was going to be this really hard-hitting show about dealing with, you know, divorce and broken families and stuff, and how to make things work. And it just ended up just being stupid slapstick comedy and oh my nose.
That's Tony. That's an exact. I mean, yes, he was. I think he was misrepresented. That's what he wanted. He wanted A's enough, but the Brady Bunch. It was a comedy, you know, but it did tackle that stuff.
Yeah.
And it did resonate with people. It was a family show. The kids loved it. And kids don't watch A's enough. They don't care for that drama BS. They want to be entertained. And yeah, I think it got sillier as it went on. And Mike Brady, he ended up fighting Swartz on the last episode where Greg's graduation happened.
Yeah, with the
He got
orange
kicked
hair.
off the set. So I found out more about what happened. So we knew it had to do with the orange hair tonic. Now my thing is I've accidentally dyed my hair orange before. It's not that big a deal. It happens. It's funny. His thing is whatever hair tonic that instantly turned his hair orange would have been so caustic. The chemicals would have been so intense. There's no way kids would have had access to that, and it would have burned his scalp if it would. So he was like looking at it in that aspect, which I think he's got a point.
Yeah,
it's like.
Well, Robert Reed was so protective of those kids.
Oh yeah, that was.
He was. Well, I don't think he really thought Greg's scalp would burn, but I think he wanted to put some realism. It's like there was a thing the kids put holes in the sheets and were going around the house as ghosts trying to scare potential buyers of the house away. And Robert Reed actually put it in there at the end how expensive those sheets were and that those kids were going to have to atone for, you know, ruining his sheets because that wasn't in the script. So, you know, tried to put some of that stuff, and that was good. You needed that.
Yeah. Of course, the one episode that sticks to my mind was that one of the kids, not the oldest kid, but I think the middle kid, was obsessed with Billy the Kid.
Oh, that was Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Jesse James.
Yeah, it was Jesse. Yeah, one of them. And how it was like, then he ends up having a dream about it, and Jesse James, Billy the Kid, you know, whoever like kills his father or something like that. So, he was like not a good guy. He wasn't a good guy.
What happened was they actually had the guy that was Augusta fireman, the old guy. So Mike Brady, I don't know how he did it because it was before the internet. He somehow looked up a guy whose dad was killed by Jesse James. So he invites him over to his house, and Gus the fireman talks to Bobby about how his dad floofied because of Jesse James, and Bobby still didn't penetrate his head. He was still
Yeah.
playing with his gun and pretending, and they were figuring, well, that didn't work. But then that planted it into his brain, and then he had that nightmare that he was on the train,
Right.
got robbed, and Jesse James killed everybody in his family except him,
Yeah.
except Bobby. So
That's why I'm surprised they put that on TV with kids.
Huh?
That's why I'm surprised they put that on the Brady Bunch, with shooting the kids dead. I know it wasn't a real gun shooting, but
No,
No,
they was a little different back then. I think things got more sanitized later. It's like, you know, it's like I'm sorry, but can
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Tom.
yeah, like the little drummer boy. You know, I was back when MDB had their forum, and it was a little drummer boy, and the little goat or the donkey gets run over by a truck. I don't know why they had a truck there, but you know, it's like, oh, this is too dark for kids. It's like, we all saw that shit back then, and we're still here.
Yep. And by the way, the IMDb message board's still around, so I go there every day. It's called moviechat.org, but you can still see all of your see all of your comments you did from 20 years ago.
Nice.
Still respond to them. It's there. I go. That's my lunch hour thing. So no, when Jesse James in the Dream was shooting everybody, it wasn't a gun with blanks. He was going bang bang and kill. So it wasn't even like realistic. He was just going bang bang and that was. What about the one, Steve, where Bobby and Cindy going to? I guess they're the only ones in the house with Alice, and they come in with these towels around them, and they said they're going down to this doctor's swimming party, and Alice is like pulls Bobby's sheet open, to make sure his trunks are clean, and he's not. And she's like, "Oh, you're not wearing a swimsuit. You're wearing your birthday suit." And
nice.
Like, what the heck's going on? And they're going to a skinny dipping party at this doctor's house.
Ooh.
And she's like,
that's kind of a
yeah.
Supposedly Bobby and Cindy were naked.
Yeah,
they were both naked, but they had towels around. But Alice like pulled their towels and saw that they were naked, and she wouldn't let them go because she wouldn't let them go without their parents' permission. And
Well,
they cut that whole thing. It's on YouTube. You can watch it, but they cut it out of the they cut it out of the on air stuff. But I think you could see it in the DVDs now.
I think they kind of makes it look like that doctor was kind of a child predator.
Well, I don't know, because it was just people weren't. Well, let me put it this way: people weren't as aware of predators then.
Yeah.
So it could have just been they could have just been a freewheeling person with a lot of. I mean, there's whole families that go to nudist camps. It doesn't mean they're necessarily predators. So, I think that was more of the thing in the 70s. It was kind of funny. Well, I think 8 is Enough had I didn't see it, but I read it like on the movie chat board where the dad and Nicholas, the young kid, he wanted to take him swimming at a public pool and to teach him how to swim. And him and Nicholas come out naked at the public pool, and they're the only ones naked. And they're just like embarrassing. But it's because that's the way he was raised.
He was raised naked.
Well, no, men, I don't know what it is with men, but women could wear bathing suits and boys couldn't, because I guess their pants would thread out and clog up the vents or something silly, but it was really weird.
Yeah.
Hi, Laura.
Oh, we got people. Yay. Hi, Laura.
Laura, I actually, so I went back to my, the distributor, and I asked if I could add the YouTube thing, and they said that I could. So I read the agreement of what it said, all these exclusive rights, and that they're going to take my copyright and all that. I'm like, what? So I asked them, and they kind of cleared it up. They said it should be fine. So I think tomorrow I'll go ahead and submit it. And I'm also making the physical CDs too, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully within a month I'll have all of it. And I felt silly making physical CDs, but I was telling Tony it kind of validates the album a little bit.
It was a good thing, something a keepsake to hold on to.
Kind of is as a keepsake. I don't think anyone even has a way to play it, but it's kind. You know what? If there's ever another, I mean, we had this CrowdStrike thing a week ago. I think that was just a practice for something major, like they did it on purpose. So I'm just thinking, if something happens like that, or if there's a sunspot or something, it might be good to have stuff on a physical disc.
Yeah.
Especially this album. I think it's the best album I've ever done, Steve.
Can't wait to hear it.
It's got 22 songs. It's a double album.
Ah.
And it's all, like
I wish I was
almost
still running the station. I'd play it on the morning show.
Yeah.
Well, I know you would, but you're not running the station no more.
Well, see, he wanted to have it as a
now.
3-sided album, but it's hard to put that on a record player.
You know, Steve, I thought about it. I thought about my conversation I would have with you if you still had Q-Star about what songs I wouldn't want you to play over and over and over.
Yeah.
I would think I'm fine with every song except the instrumentals, of course, for obvious reasons, and the Neil Diamond song. I mean, it's not a Neil Diamond song, but it's me imitating Neil Diamond because it came about on one of our wrong channels when I imitated him.
I think you got tired of me playing really, really, really.
That's 10 years old. Do you realize that song's 12 years old now?
It's best not to think of how long ago we did some of this shit. Because I reposted a memory on Facebook today, and it was about the thing with the other thing. And it said, this is from 10 years ago. I was like, what the? That can't be 10 years ago. But, yeah, you played the Riviera Affair on the Fun Hour 10 years ago. One of those.
Where did that come up?
From my memories. But it was one of those cool 60s like movie themes. Instrumental.
I mean, how did it end up in your memory, just that, since it was part of a big Fun Hour?
Because I liked it and I posted the YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's the one with the blue Chinese lady that was on the cover of the thing. At least
I still love the Tony Dixon theme.
Yeah. That's still my ringtone on the phone. I haven't gotten tired of it yet.
I can see it's just like I've got a couple. I've got like the electric polka on the new album, which I like. I wouldn't put anything on the album if I didn't like it, but I would hate for that if I had one single to choose from. I'd hate for it to be that because it sounds nothing like anything else. It's just a novelty song.
For the Tony Dixon theme, I'm waiting for the disco version to come out.
No,
that was the disco version.
But no, because on my phone there's a little thing that says I can silence anybody who's not in my contact list. The phone doesn't ring at all, so that way I don't get sick of hearing my Tony Dixon theme.
Tony, a little bit of trivia. So on Mixcloud, when I played Riviera Affair, before I had labeled it Riviera Affair, it said it was called Prestige Production.
Ah.
And I was like, what? But it was the same author, it was the same artist. And I looked at Prestige Production. It's the same song. It was from 1970. It's the same song, but Prestige Production is longer. So if you really like Riviera Affair, check out Prestige. You know, honestly, I listen to both, and I prefer a little. You know, I like short and sweet. I don't. You know, and I'm used to it, so I don't need an extra this and that. I'm fine.
It's really storming here now.
Oh, look at that, man! I see the rain down in Africa.
I'll be right back. Hang in there, fellers.
All right. Okay, well, don't get hit by lightning. Wow.
Oh, I'm inside the car.
Smoke it away. Gulf O Bay. Bait tackle.
What were you going to do if I wasn't here and Timmy had to take a break?
I would have monologued. I would have just said, hi there, everybody, and here's my foot. I got this phone from 1951. See, it even says on the bottom of it, it says, 551 over there on the corner.
That's an old-fashioned rotary phone.
Yep. Yeah, 51. Wow. They actually date coded them. Oh hell yeah! You could kill somebody with this damn thing. Because the handset is Bakelite. It's heavy as hell. You can, and when you get pissed off at somebody, you go, boom, man, fuck that.
I remember those. That was half the fun of getting mad at somebody on the phone, slamming the phone down.
They were built to last because you couldn't buy them back then. You had to lease them, and so they were like $1.50 a month, and they only cost about $10 to make. So the money, the phone company made bank on those things.
Oh, yeah.
But they lasted forever. They're easy to fix. It's like anything else, Oh yeah, I just don't have a landline. God, I had a landline in my apartment 8 or 9 years ago. It was like $100 a month just to get a landline.
Jeez.
Like shit.
I don't think anybody's got a landline anymore.
No. If I ever get an apartment again, I might see if it's even has the copper in it for it. It's kind of cool having a landline, but because if you dial Pennsylvania or 212 Pennsylvania 65000, that's New York, and you can it'll play the tune because it's a Pennsylvania hotel.
Wonder if you can still dial 0 and get an operator.
Probably not. I remember those. Allie's mom was one of those. She was an telephone operator.
Oh, surely. Wow.
Yeah. I always wanted to talk to her about that, but oh well.
You just have to say, you got to insert another corner.
Yeah.
At the top like this. Hey, wouldn't it have been funny if Lionel Richie, when he did Hello,
Hello.
Yeah, it was like the whole song was like that. Hello. Like Jeff Lynne.
Or the other one, the ELO song.
Hello.
Well, yeah, if he just kept doing it. And somebody on Movie Chat, which I just told you about, just the other day, someone posted a Lionel Richie video on there. It said that the ending of it was disappointing, that it should have been sad.
Ah.
And I said, why didn't you? I said, spoilers. I said I was going to watch that video today, and now you ruined it for me. I actually wrote that on there. So tell me who did the Riviera Affair, because in case anybody's watching this, because it is a cool song.
It says on the thing.
I'm terrible with names. If he'd called himself,
trust me. I know. Neil Richardson.
Okay. If he'd have called himself like the Thuds, I'd have remembered it,
But I want somebody to explain to me thoroughly, so I actually understand it, what the fuck 3 Times a Lady was about.
3 times a lady.
He was
Three
singing
what?
about that Billy Joel's girlfriend that would like stamp his foot with her high heel, but it was okay because she's always a woman with. And I got to tell you, there is nothing more painful than getting a high heel into your foot. Like I think I was
Some dudes would kill for that pain, though.
What?
Some dudes would kill for that pain.
Oh my God! I was at Josh's graduation out in the parking lot, and her dad was there and everybody. And she turned around and got that spike in the middle of my foot, and I'm like, God damn shit, son of a bitch!
Oh, you lucky SOB. And Laura says, yeah, those old phones were made to survive the apocalypse. They were, yeah. It was back in the days of the atom bomb.
I heard Hunter Biden likes that high heel on the foot.
Yep.
I didn't ever look at any of his pictures or anything on there.
I did. It was sickening.
Well, why did you look at it then? I don't want to look at that stuff.
Well, I heard so
No,
much
he's
about
like
it, I wanted to see what was on there.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's like, oh, smell this. God, oh man, that's bad. Smell this. Oh man, that's bad.
I kind of just figured that's kind of. I figured that's none of my business. I mean, as far as if there's stuff on there about him colluding with Ukraine and doing all this other, then that's fine.
Yeah.
If he's or other stuff is breaking the law. But if he's just got his dong out and sticking it up his gun barrel, that's his own thing. I don't.
Yeah. What is it about having a lot of money that makes people do the stupidest shit?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's because he was tampered with when he was a kid. That's what made him do all that stuff.
Somebody diddled him.
But I guess when you have a lot of money, that you do anything you want, and nobody calls you on it.
Well, yeah, there's a point with that. If you're part of the club, that's what it is. It's not even money. It's if you're part of the club. I mean, Trump has
Remind me
money.
never to get rich.
Do what?
Remind me never to get rich.
It's not about being rich. You got to be part of the club.
I guess so, because I'd like to win that $1 billion lottery just to see if having that much money would screw me up.
You want to experiment? I'd like to experiment with that too.
Yeah, because I'd buy the SS United States and get it all fixed up, and
I would buy a big mansion if I won $1 billion.
I would buy Wayne Manor from the '60s TV show. I'd see how much they wanted it for, because that's in Upper Pasadena.
Is it still being kept up good?
Oh yeah, no, I saw it. If you remember that TV show back in the aughts called The Event, at the last episode, it was only like 6 episodes. It was all about people coming from it's a bunch of shit. But there was good old, because you can tell because it's got these two like gabled roofs that are kind of at an angle, and it's very distinctive. I said, that's stately Wayne Manor. And it was just in one scene. But I'd love to get hold of that. And then there's a company called Fiberglass Freaks. They make copies, officially licensed replicas of the '66 Batmobile.
The only way I would buy the stately Wayne Manor is if it actually had the Batcave underneath it.
No, because the Batcave is over in the Griffith Park, which is about 10 or 15 miles away.
Well, see if you can have a golf cart in a tunnel like Oprah.
Yeah, there you go.
So what I would like to do if I had $1 million, if I won it right now, I would save Judy Pruitt's house.
Well, yeah.
And I would have it totally rebuilt and in top tips, and I'd kick everybody out and live there.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
which house?
Do what?
What would you say again, million?
My cousin's house, the one that had the fire, because they've actually had rollout dumpsters and they've been pulling everything out of the house, so it looks like it's doomed.
Is that house salvageable?
It is, but the government won't let them. They're making them tear it down. I think it's a land grab like they did in Maui. They're wanting to develop neighborhoods and shit there. Boy, this makes me angry because it's nobody's business. She pays her taxes, and that house was there before the city was.
But if it's their land, why? What's the big deal?
Because they gotta have their finger in everybody's pie. Yeah. And it makes me really angry, the whole situation.
Very angry indeed.
It's her house, and if she wants to leave it there, it's not falling in. It's the 90% of the house is still intact. It's just smoke damage. It could all be salvageable. But the house isn't perfect. Fire? What?
How did it catch fire?
It was an electrical fire in the garage.
They were trying to say ducks chewed the damn wire. Ducks can't chew anything. They got bills. They got their teeth. They can't chew a thing.
If there was a duck, could possibly, if it's messing with something, it could short something out. But yeah, it was where the ducks were when the fire started. But it was whatever it was faulty wiring in the garage that started it. But thank God that the house didn't have wood siding; it had the hardy plank.
Good old asbestos.
Because it smoldered all night with them asleep in the house. And what was weird, it's like some woman, a neighbor, smelled the smoke at midnight, and then Tammy, who lives next door, her daughter, at 4 a.m, she was up and smelled the smoke, and she looked outside and didn't see anything, went back to bed or whatever. So it was about 6:30 in the morning, something like that. Somebody like Pam, who's bedridden in there, her nurse came to drop something off, and Big Judy went in and let her in or whatever to do that. And she went back to bed and said it was 10 minutes later that the fireman, that the off-duty fireman that was driving with his wife, Kansas fireman, went by and broke into the house and got everybody out and said it was on fire. It was like 10 minutes. So it was just like on fire, and the house wasn't filled with smoke enough where they realized it was on fire. But when you look at the house, I mean, yeah, you could see like where the ceilings meet the walls. There's like a lot of, black where the smoke had gone through it. So, I mean, it was going for quite a while. And just thank God they're okay. But yeah, the house is salvageable. It's just, and it's, like I said, it's the last piece of my childhood. I'm making a model of it in 3D though. And I got to tell you, when you make a 3D model and I'm making like environments for the film, you live there. Like I lived in Lidsville when I made Saturday Night. I lived in it for months.
Yeah.
And now that I'm back in their house. I'm making the kitchen cabinets and everything, and I'm in their kitchen. It's the weirdest thing, and I'm listening to little podcasts or news or whatever, and I'm just in there. It's like at the convention when Hulk Hogan came on. I was watching it, listening to it live, and all of a sudden, whenever I think about that, I'm in the bedroom bathroom, putting in the windows. It takes me right back, and it's just as real of a memory as if I was in the real house. It's kind of neat. I'll share you pictures of it when I get the house. It's not like a mansion. It's a bigger house. Back in 1970, because the house was the basement was built in 69, and the builder lived in the basement, and then he built the rest of the house in 1970. So I was started in 69 and finished in 70. So that house and me had more in common than I knew. And the houses back then had bigger rooms. And we didn't realize it when we were a kid. Normally, when you grow up and you go back to a place, everything's tiny.
Yeah.
How did I even? That's the opposite. When I go to that house and look at I'm like, this is a big room. And I looked and it's like 12 foot wide by like 13 or 14 this direction. And it's like, wow, this is like, the rooms are big. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'd love to see the old. $1
million, I would love so much, and I wish I was there to at least help them get stuff out of the house, because that's what I was hoping to do then. But they didn't have the. Never mind.
Yeah, but I'd love to see the old family home, because they remodeled the hell out of it, so you barely recognize it. But it would still be nice to see, and it's supposed to be worth $4 million. Because when we lived there, it was an upscale neighborhood, sure. But after we left, it became Silicon Valley. Oops.
Well,
I wish we'd just stuck around.
The pot since the last time you were looking at it.
Yeah, the Google Street View looks a little shitty. Like there's like missing shingles and stuff. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'd love to buy the farm we lived on in Kansas.
Yeah, I don't want to buy the farm, but
is it still around? Is the house still there and stuff?
Yep.
You lived on a farm, Steve?
Yeah.
Well, Steve's a farm boy, man. He milked cows and.
You didn't say that, Steve.
Yeah, we lived on a farmhouse for quite a few years.
Did you like ride in a dune buggy and stuff like they do on? Well, I guess that's not really a farm thing. That's
Oh, cows. Think cows.
Cows, yeah.
Lots of cows, chickens, geese.
Did you ride a chicken?
Cow. No, yeah, I rode a chicken. I choked a chicken more.
Did you drill a sheep? But
the land we lived on, the landlord was doing all the farming, and we just had the second house that was on the other side of the property.
Oh, okay. So you were a sharecropper.
Yeah, something like that.
That was like my grandparents that lived in Monument, Colorado. As much as I hate Colorado, there's this beautiful little town nestled at the foot of the Pikes Peak Range called Monument. And it was off of 225, off of I-25, the freeway, but it was like a beautiful it's like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. The whole town was just so cute and gorgeous. And my grandma and grandpa lived in this little red house on this ranch that was actually attacked by Indians before they moved in. And because they moved in like 1970. So it's a place that we visited every year when we went to Colorado, and I loved it. There was a stream we could, walk down and look for arrowheads or whatever, or topaz rocks, and it was just a really neat ranch, and we loved it. And but there was a house. The guy that owned the ranch had the main house. It was a ranch house, and they had the old 1800s one, and it was neat. And I liked it because when we moved there, everything was different, and they didn't live there anymore. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but that one little part was a special part of my life, and it was just about as special as my Kansas City days. And it's funny, Tammy, my cousin, she told me this last time I was out there that all these pictures of me when I was a kid. She said before the divorce and before I moved away from Kansas City, she said every picture of me, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah.
And she said after we moved to Colorado, she says I never hardly ever smiled in any of the pictures ever again. It was just like night and day, and I'm like, damn, it depresses me.
Yeah.
But it was true. When I never even noticed it until she said that.
Every time I post a picture, if God forbid I'm actually smiling, like my brother would say, "Oh, you're smiling." It's like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's brothers. It's like we watch Star Wars, which is kind of exciting and this and that. But what's he do? He impresses his friends every time they come over by pulling me up by my head, like Darth Vader. It's like I couldn't win. Steve would have, if Steve was my brother, he would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably so.
And Laura said those old phones are made to survive the apocalypse like a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Because this isn't like Facebook where you can see when they posted it, but I can remember.
Yeah, no, I acknowledged it when she posted it.
How can you? Oh, yeah, you acknowledged it on air. You can't really like or love a thing on the YouTube thing.
Well, you
I know,
can
I
hit the
found-
heart thing 8,000 times.
Is Gwen still here? Because
Probably not.
we ignored her and Lewis at the beginning unintentionally. We were just trying to get the show going.
I would say something last week when I was commenting, and nobody would say anything about it till like an hour later.
Yeah.
Well, at least we try. I was at Doc G's, he had Elvis's brother on. And I was hanging out at his show and chats, and I was saying things, and he just totally, the whole show, ignored anybody. I'm like, you shouldn't do that. I mean, we don't ever ignore anybody on purpose. Sometimes
That's
we
right,
get caught up
too.
and forget. But I mean, and maybe he did, but
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't how you do a show. I'm not going to go to your shows if you're going to just ignore me and everybody else. We're
Well,
trying
I
to,
love his promo on the Big Bob show. It's like, we do voice, listen to Big Bob, remember, so we do voiceover work.
What?
It's the funniest hell. It sounds
Okay.
like shit.
Well, I guess
See
Fresh
what?
Bill is
You gotta listen to Big Bob, man.
Big friend.
I haven't been to Big Bob's show in like a decade. I mean,
Yeah.
almost literally, and it's not nothing against Big Bob. I've just generally Saturday mornings to me are it's chore time because it's like all week I'm working and doing this, and Saturday morning's the only time really where I go outdoors and do the weed eating and the fence fixing and everything else.
Did you hear what I said about Fresh Bill?
What about Fresh Phil?
I love Fresh Bill, but I don't know about him doing Memory Lane. I love you.
Well, that
fellas who
first
watch it.
time, man, he played Celine Dion not once, but twice.
In the same show.
Yes.
This is Memory Lane. It's about songs from 1952. She wouldn't even born then.
Oh,
And this
boy.
is Bob's show. He got to keep with Big Bob's theme. This is Bob's show, and I've always
Yeah.
stayed to his format and his theme and
Sure.
everything.
Oh, remember when Tony got so mad when you first took over Big Bob's show and he put on that temper tantrum?
No, that was stress.
Stress.
Yeah.
Stress. Sorry, Tony. Stress was her name. And her son was there, like
Oh,
backing her
yeah.
up or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were gonna ban me. And,
No,
oh my
and
God.
it was, the line was, what she said was, I didn't build this show to have it ruined by Steve. She built the show. No,
What a shitty thing
bitch,
to say. Steve, what's
fucking
his spell again?
Big
What
Bob built
did
the show. It's his talent, not yours.
What's is Bob supposed to never take a vacation? Is he never supposed to take time off? What the hell, man? Sorry, God, I didn't mean to say that. What the heck, man?
Before, Bob would just take a week off and there'd just be no show.
Yeah.
But then I came in and I would run reruns for him, and I'd sit there the whole show typing in titles and artists, so it seemed like title and artist would show up.
Oh, yeah. But no,
Then
the
we
line
thought,
was,
let's try
she
to
said
find-
she built the show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
what the?
that's-
I never even heard of you. What do you mean you built the show?
Did you say
Big
that?
Bob was pissed off. Big Bob was pissed off about that.
Yeah. Yeah, she disappeared pretty quick
did
after
that.
that.
Basically sever her tie with Big Bob?
I'm sure.
I was banned from her stream. Q-Star was on her streaming service, and at the end of the month, she banned me.
That was so.
Well, to be fair, is there anybody that does internet radio that's not insane?
No.
Not really. But I did notice that Fresh Phil and Big Bob are best friends now since.
Well, to be fair, Fresh Phil does not use the voice changer on the Big Bob show.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bob told him.
Why did he punish us with that shit?
Yeah. Remember that? 1-800, fuck off.
I remember it because I was in Colorado and I think I got very sick that night, which I always did. Every time I went to Colorado, I guess it's the airports or something. Airports are just like petri dishes of disease.
Yeah, they're just sick.
And I would always get sick. And I remember that it had to have been once or twice we were in Colorado doing your show, our show, the wrong channel.
Yeah.
And I could just feel it coming down right in the middle of the show, getting like the flu of the century. But yeah, I remember that. Fresh Phil, he really gave us a bum deal there. And what was funny is he's like,
so Phil, if you're watching,
sometime, and Tony's like, yeah, right. Tony wasn't afraid to let him know he wasn't welcome anymore.
Yeah, blame me. No, that was the other guy, the fucking Joker, man. That was so damn funny.
You said what we all wanted to say, Tony.
Oh, the Joker.
I'm not talking down to you at all. It's like I'm glad Tony said it because I don't think any of us had the nerve to. And Tony's like, yeah, right.
The Joker was the funniest though.
Oh God, Allie's rant after that. And I thought, when I said that after he left, took off, because nothing was funny, and I was serious. I wasn't kidding when I said, did I have a stroke or something, or was that none of that funny?
That was because our show was awful. We weren't funny yet. And we had that
He made us funny.
asshole on our show who claimed to be a comedian. And it's not Steve's fault. Steve's trying to get us some talent. The guy claimed he was talented. And his
He said he did
jokes,
stand-up comedy.
yeah. So, it's not Steve's fault. He got him on here thinking we had talent. And the guy he sucked the talent out. And we didn't have much talent to begin with. We weren't very funny either. But when he was on our show, it seemed like we were the Carol Burnett crew. All of a sudden, for the first time, we seemed funny around this guy because he was bringing out the funny in us with his unfunniness.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that.
In a way, he helped us.
Yeah.
I remember that. And the thing is, it's like, here's an example. Is he said something stupid. He said that unicorns poop Skittles, is what he said.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, if I was a unicorn, I'd do plenty of recycling then. So I actually said something that was funny, and he's automatically, right when I said that, because my mom has cancer, she can't get benefits from the government. Like, what the
I know. Oh, my God.
Talk about sucking the life out of the room. And when he finally, I think finally he signed off, because there's one time he made a quote joke, and there was silence, and Tony goes,
crap.
Like, and Tony goes like, are we recording? And, we all laughed at Tony. And it wasn't until I think he finally got the picture he wasn't welcome anymore and he signed off. And Tony's like, did I just have a stroke? And then Allie's like, who let you in the back door, you little shriveling little piece of shit? She just went,
you unfunny piece of shit. I remember that.
That was the funniest rant. Oh my God. I wish we had that.
Yeah. And that's when I realized we actually aren't too bad.
I wish I had my sound effects. I still have that on the computer.
Yeah.
The Valley's rant is hilarious.
Oh, God.
But I still remember, and I use that line once in a while still too, Tony, with, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, hey, do you want to see the Bluebell factory?
The bloop? Oh, the bloop factory.
Because I
Yeah.
don't know if Goat's Cock will ever even show up. He didn't even tell us anything.
Now, I mean, fuck those guys. You know, they don't want to be on the show. Screw them. You know, if old what's his name, the bearded guy, if he wants to be sick all the time, fine.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this is in Sylacauga, Alabama.
Silicon, Alabama. Okay.
Sylacauga. It's past Talladega. down the highway.
Yeah, that's where fake boobs come from.
So across the street from the fire,
Somebody caught that joke. Okay.
Yeah.
so across the street from the fire station is the Bluebell Ice Cream Factory.
Ah, about a mile from Texarkana.
Oh.
Oh boy.
So
You got to change profile picture every time he shows a picture?
yes, so that's the lobby.
Hmm.
And that's the stairwell.
The bench. Oh, there we go.
And so what I got here, I've told you that Pooh Bear, the guy that was with me when we let the kids loose from the school. That's him there.
Ah, the Bluebell are located upstairs.
And let me see what we got here. So I'm going to show pictures of the parlor.
Ah,
So here is the parlor that's upstairs. So this is where I talked to Gottschalk, and I said, we got dollar ice cream scoops. And he's like, oh, how big were the scoops, though? And so we took pictures of the scoops.
well, that's not bad for $1. I bet that for $1.
Yeah, not bad at all. And in fact, I've got a picture of Pooh Bear taking a picture of his scoop.
Ah,
And then we've got, I think I've got one more picture. That's
I also want to have that
picture
picture.
away of the scoops. And then I've got one more of the Oompa Loompas working,
Oompa Loompas?
making your Bluebell ice cream.
Ah, Oompa Loompas.
Because there's a big window in the parlor, and you can eat ice cream and watch people making your future ice cream.
These aren't
Ah.
the pictures I was supposed to see, God damn it.
Well, tough. These are the pictures you're going to get.
Now, we have here in Baldwin Park, California, is the world headquarters of In-N-Out Burgers. And they claim when you go in there, it's that we don't even have a freezer because they don't freeze their meat for the burgers. So they figure we'd rather have the bugs and stuff. But they serve milkshakes. So if you don't have a freezer, how do they have the ice cream for the milkshake? So probably they have a freezer for the ice cream, but they don't put the meat in it. And they actually have a school. They have a school, Burger University, right down there, In-N-Out Burgers, and they teach everything to do with burgers and serving burgers and being burgers and all that stuff.
Burger U.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's right there. In fact, it's on Hamburger Lane,
Sounds juicy.
Baldwin Park, California. Now they're shooting rockets.
I recommend a Chili's burger. If you ever go to Chili's, get their burger. They call it like an old fashioned, or it's some bland name for
old
it.
fashioned, yeah, an old fashioned.
It's like I've gone there twice, and I've never been able to finish the burger. I take half of it home. That's how much burger you get.
So I could probably only eat like 3 of them.
Yeah, probably. But nowadays you could probably go to Chili's and get like a $17 burger meal that's probably cheaper than McDonald's.
Oh yeah. Well, somewhere along the line, because in the old days, you went to McDonald's and they had the burger sitting there under a heat lamp on a little chute, and then they started making them fresh, and the price tripled.
Yeah, I that's why when I went to McDonald's, because they make everything with mustard, which I hate, so I'd have to have them special order. So I'd be the only one of our group. It'd be annoying because I had to wait for mine, but I would have the only one that had a fresh burger. And Laura said it looks like a church. It kind of looked like a really nice place, didn't it? It was
the Church of Ice Cream.
And it didn't look like a big like factory with the dirty smokestacks. It was kind of a nice place right across the street from the fire station.
Yeah.
So guess what I've been looking at accidentally? Because YouTube, you look at one little thing and they say, oh, maybe you want to see it 1,000 more times. It's because there's one thing that a pet peeve of YouTubers that I hate. 10 things about this that you didn't know. Fuck you. Implying I didn't know about
Water
this.
is wet. The sky is above the earth.
No, I hate, but there's one that said 10 facts about Office Space that you probably didn't know. And I'm like, okay, you put a probably there, so I'll watch this. It's not near as insulting. And a couple of the things I knew already. Have you seen Office Space, Steve? Of course he has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I knew the fact about that they wanted Swing Line to make a red stapler. And they said they wouldn't because they had to mass produce them and it wouldn't be in their budget to make just one. So they made their own. And then it became so popular that Swing Line was like, well, and they started producing them. I think you could still buy them. But what I didn't know was after the movie, TGI Fridays quit having their stewards and waitresses wear bling. Evidently, that was a take on TGI Fridays with the bling buttons, and they quit doing that after the movie.
I was wondering what purpose that served in the movie.
Do what?
I was wondering what purpose that served in the movie, the bling.
Well, now you know it was a TGI Fridays. I thought that was the weakest. Jennifer Aniston was the weakest part of that movie. She was cute in it, and I thought that the guy that worked with her, the male employee, the kid, was hilarious. He was one of the funniest.
The goody two shoes.
Yeah, I thought he was funny, but I thought that whole secondary plot toward the end with the SB, all that is a little weird. But I think they could have just gone with him being hypnotized through the whole movie. It would have been hilarious. So this wasn't in the trivia, but it was in. This is why the trivia came up. Is I found film locations of Office Space, and I thought, well, I guess I got to see this. This is what was most interesting. The whole movie was filmed in Austin, and it was all on location. You remember the older guy that ended up trying to kill himself and ended up in the accident and getting.
Oh yeah.
So that was a real house. And the party was in his backyard with the water tower behind it. It was all there. They filmed at the house, in front of the house, in the backyard. It's like everything. I don't think they had a single movie set for the whole film. It was all just, everything was locational shots in Austin. Which was, I think that was interesting. And that's what I never understood. Why they can't just set up cameras somewhere and film, why they have to build sound stages for make stuff for everything. It's like, why not just set cameras up in the little train tracks and just, because I've seen them do it before.
Well, the sound stages have a little bit better acoustics for recording. They can block noises out.
Yeah, but do they even really record in there? Or okay, here's my thing. Let's take a soap opera. General Hospital, let's say, we don't ever watch any of that stuff.
I do.
And that was a dig. I'm just saying. So here's my question for somebody who's astute. This would have been good for Wesley. When you're doing a soap or you're doing a sitcom or you're doing whatever, where's your voice? Do they dub their voice after the fact, or is there that good shotgun mics that record their voices like that?
Boom mics over top.
Yeah, boom mics are really. The boom mics, yeah.
So they must be some pretty good boom mics to get their voices and nothing else.
Because he used to do those live.
You got to be really, good with being the boom mic controller because you can't get the mic in the camera frame. But you still got to be close enough to get their voice. There are a couple of episodes of Star Trek I found out where the microphone was in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? In those mic guys who do that most work probably get paid like minimum wage. Where Shatner gets paid like $1 billion gajillion.
Yeah.
Oh, who was the guy? Before you
Paul
take
Lynde.
my piano. No, that it was a live show. They were talking about the roadies and stuff, and it was like the end of the show. And then he starts playing
Jackson Brown.
Jackson Brown, yeah. And they're working for that minimum wage. Well, pay him more, you stupid ass.
It's his road crew. It pissed me off. I'm glad you're not the only one that noticed that.
Yeah.
But the ones that, speaking of soap operas, the one that really messed up on cameras and microphones was the live versions of Dark Shadows.
Oh, of course. There was actually a group of Dark Shadows fans, and they call themselves Boom Shadow. Because of the shadow of the boom. I remember watching an episode of Dark Shadows, and the damn camera fell over. It fell over. The whole frame just went clunk.
Live on TV.
Oh, yeah. The soaps used to be live.
A couple of years ago, for their 60th anniversary, General Hospital did a live show of their show. And they were doing things on purpose.
Oh, okay. The camera fell over?
Like a table leg broke, and the actress would look off to the director or something real quick. They did that, kind of an homage to live television.
Oh, yeah. Like a Dark Shadows, it'd be like somebody like kicked them, like died, and they're on the floor dead. And then they didn't realize that they were still shooting, so they got up and walked home.
I remember that. I'm still waiting, like watching NCIS or something, and the corpse on the table starts breathing or something.
Yeah, they do that. Do you ever notice that they'll either put a towel over the junk, or they'll have like a light where it's where the glare blows it out.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if the actor is really naked there.
Probably not. But I always wanted, because I stopped watching that show, I got tired of it. But I did want to go back and see the tribute to Ducky, because that was Dave McCallum. He passed away. Over 90. I can't imagine being 90.
Did you see that episode?
No, I didn't. I got to go back and watch it probably.
Oh, it's still on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. But Paramount Plus now, it's like for $5 or $8, they'll show you commercials. I cannot watch modern commercials anymore.
I can't either. I don't have
it's like, Plus. I mean, the old days used to be entertaining. Now it's just, oh my God.
That's why I can't watch General Hospital on Hulu.
Yeah.
Because it's the commercial. And, but Paramount Plus, I got the version where I don't get commercials.
Yeah, it's more money. More money. Yeah. And when I get my Social Security, which is coming up this next month, then I might do it. Yay. Government money. I love government money.
Because I'm watching like Merlin on Tubi.
Ah.
And they got commercials, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here comes another commercial.
And they're worse and worse and worse. Because I was playing like Solitaire on like Microsoft Solitaire, and they got commercials before you start playing the game. And it's like commercials for like prep, like the AIDS drugs and shit. It's like, please, come on.
Well, I heard that like Netflix is doing away with the commercial-free stuff now or something.
So you got to pay them more and more and more and more.
Well, I don't get commercials on Netflix either.
How do you like it?
I don't like it. If I'm in the mood for a movie or something, I don't have to put up with commercials.
Well, you know what? Here's my thing. Is 5 years ago, it's like even on YouTube or whatever, the commercial was at the beginning of the whatever you're watching, and it was skippable. They had like one skippable ad. If it's something about tampons or whatever that I'm not going to be buying, I could just skip it and go to the show, and it wasn't a big deal. You kind of get used to it. And there were some commercials, like the shave your pubic hair things that I actually bought. Thought that was an interesting commercial, and I bought their product. But you know what?
I'm glad you shared that.
I'm just saying there were some commercials that were okay, and then I actually patroned them. But you know what? They ended up making 2 skippable ads, and then one you couldn't skip.
Yeah.
And then they put 2 or 3 ads in the middle of the thing, and then another one. And that's like this is like watching network TV, but worse.
Yeah.
And then
I pay for YouTube Premium.
Ah.
Well, yeah, it's silly. All you need is an ad blocker.
There you go.
You don't even have to do all that.
This is the only Facebook ad that I actually bought something off of. And these are they're called Archies, they're slippers. And, I weigh over 300 pounds. I've had these for years. This is how much wear they have.
Well, I gotta tell you that. So I use that Facebook app that blocks all the ads,
Mhm.
which is very nice. But I was on my phone when I was out back a couple years ago, and I didn't have that ad blocker on my Facebook. So I was scrolling down, and all of a sudden, the ad came up with the B-17 ride.
Ah.
So if it wasn't for that, if I'd have had ad blockers on everything, I wouldn't have gotten that really cool memory.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause that was
Yeah,
all
I'd love to do that. Of course,
Facebook
I wish they had like German planes. We could go up in like a Heinkel 111 or something like that.
Well, they do it. It's not German, but they do have they also have a B-25 Mitchell you can ride in.
Yeah. Because they have the like fighter plane rides where they got like a 2-seat Mustang and all, but you can't weigh over like 225. So the hell with that shit. The B-17 didn't care because it carries 12. It's able to carry like 12,000 pounds of bombs, so it wouldn't care about me.
I would like to ride one of those, but I heard that the Russians would give people rides in their MiGs. Even Americans.
Oh yeah.
But their one thing is if we end up going at war, you're going to be riding for them in battle.
Like, oops.
That was like
Here, push that button when I say. Okay.
Yeah. We're talking about being torn. It's like, well, that's my dad and the other plane there, that we're going to be shooting. It's like,
Yeah.
Lately, what I've been into is watching. You ever heard of First Amendment auditors?
Second
No.
Amendment or first what?
Well, they're like first, second, third, fourth audit amendment.
Well, the
So
Fourth Amendment,
basically-
Third Amendment, nobody gives a shit about. The Third
the
Amendment is
Third
the one of the Bill of Rights. The Third Amendment is the one they've never broken.
What is the Third
Which
Amendment?
one's
Oh, they can't quarter troops in private homes.
They can't
Oh.
corner troops?
Yeah, they can't like come to your house and say, you got to put up these guys. These are like army guys. You got to put them up.
Oh, if you're like hiding somebody that's dodging the draft?
No, but if there's like a war on the U.S. soil, which of course so far hasn't happened, they can't like put troops in your house.
Oh,
Yeah, they
like
used to do that
when you
back
got
in the Civil
cops
War.
hiding in somebody's yard,
Yeah.
ready to give someone a ticket, and they're in someone's private property.
No, they're talking about army, like military, U.S.
Well, I know,
military.
that's like an analogy.
Yeah.
It's like when cops are
But
doing
these,
their government duties and they're like in your yard.
But
trying
the
to
thing
do-
is about cops is what you going to do when they come for you.
We'll have to ask Goatscock when he comes back.
If
But
he
the
ever
thing
does.
about-
Sorry,
these videos-
Goatscock, if you're watching this, I'm going to keep
I
making fun of
warned
you.
him. If you look at that chat, I warned him. If you don't show up, we're going to talk shit about you.
That's right.
So a fair warning. They got all the warning they need.
But the thing about these videos I would watch is they're basically going up in the public places and videotaping because they know it's going to get a rile out of somebody. But they're within their rights to videotape.
Yeah.
And they also videotape cops, and cops hate that.
Well, they shouldn't hate it because they should have body cams and everything on them now.
No, but they're angry now because back in the day, the 2020, all cops should have body cams, and so all cops have body cams, and it turns out that every shooting is justified. Oh shit! No, we don't want body cams. We don't like body cams.
I'm for body cams for both reasons because it kind of makes cops not be such assholes, and it also it also helps cops when they're actually doing their job. I think that it's
But
a
cops-
win-win situation, really.
Yeah.
Cops are still being tyrants and assholes, though.
Yeah, but they at least have to atone for it if
Not always.
But it's a lot easier if you've got actual footage of what they're doing.
Well, only if
That's
it's
why
got shot.
That's why anytime you interact with the police, video.
Never talk to cops.
Get
Never
that phone
talk to
out.
cops. And the thing is also having a doorbell cam is actually, I was just kind of worried about having like a camera that's like tied into the internet. But it's good if because the FBI will show up and they'll show up. And nowadays they don't wear like suits like Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. back in the day. They just come like dressed like slobs. And they, we just wanted to talk to you. I said, no, you wanted to go bye-bye, go away.
Yep.
Oh, what about that one? Who was it? ATF or FBI guy that went and was trying to take somebody's gun, and he called the police. And the
Yeah, the
police
local
like,
cops beat the shit out of the
yeah,
fucking
he's like,
Fed.
you
It was
don't know
funny.
who I am. I'm a Fed. And get the fuck on the ground. They that guy crying. It was funny.
That almost makes up for that damn kidnapping thing. Oh, you're going to kidnap Captain, the guy they called Captain Autism. And so, oh yeah, you're the mastermind of this plot to kidnap this governor of this. It's like, God, fucking damn. And these people are still, some of them are still in jail. A lot of them, they did finally get the charges thrown out. But there are some people still in jail over that shit.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about that one, but I know that when I was in Alabama, I used to hear cops talk, because that's what we did. We didn't do cops, but we did their cars. Not in that way, Steve.
The cops in cars, the topless bars. Yeah.
So there were these cops talking about this one.
So alone.
They were at somebody's home on a call.
So alone.
Oh, wait.
I was just giving a little musical accompaniment.
So, they were like in the kitchen, and one of the cops was like, he was eating all the people's cookies, and he was doing all this other stuff, and it was just one thing after another, and it got worse and worse. I'm like, what do you got an R word? And it was. I wish I remembered the whole conversation. My jaw was popped open. I can't believe this. And it was a police dog they were talking about.
And Laura says the ad blockers don't work.
Person doing all this stuff, and I can't remember but it was so funny when I realized they were talking about a dog, and it was like, oh, okay.
Well, different. I mean, they're all dogs anyway. Laura says the ad blockers don't work on YouTube anymore.
Get Laura, and I know I'm on YouTube, so I'm gonna have to scramble my words. There's a web browser called BuyerBox. It rhymes with BuyerBox. And there's a bad blocker called BootTube Borigin, like Borigin as in an O instead of a B. Just look it up on your BuyerBox, and that's what I've been using for like a year or two. And knock on wood, and they might figure out a way to block the browser types. But for right now, I've been going through and I'm okay to do it because I've got a YouTube channel that's monetized too, and I've got to pay the price for everybody using the bad blockers.
I would love it if they
commercial watching this.
Well, I don't know if we're ever going to get monetized here, but
no, you don't have to be monetized for them to put ads on your channel.
Yeah, they'll put commercials
be
on
assholes.
anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put ads on my Apology None stuff, and I'm not even a YouTube partner, and I used to be, but they upped the bar. They were like, "Hey, you want to be a YouTube partner?" I'm like, "Sure." And after like 10 years, they're like, "You can't be a YouTube partner anymore because you've got to get like 3,000 views like a week and all this other stuff." And I'm like, well, but they still put ads on it, only they make the money for the ads. So like every Apology None video, the pinned comment to the top is, "I do not put ads on this channel."
There you go. See,
and
that's what you
like from those.
That's what you want though, is the padded headboards, and so when your head bangs against it, it doesn't like get hurt.
What? Do what? Do what?
A padded headboard for your bed, like she's got. So when your head bangs into it, it doesn't like get hurt.
It's usually the girl that gets her head banged in.
Well, I noticed her hair was the same pattern as the curly cues on the top of the headboard, wrought iron. So
that's the height of style.
Yeah.
See, the boy's hoping to get a glimpse of. Yeah, there you go. He's pretending to work on his bike, but he's like hoping to like catch a glimpse through the window.
Tony, I wish you had the means and that you were in Peculiar, because there's some things from that house you would have probably liked.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, there's a picture of me kissing Judy, on my cousin Judy, on this love seat. And I'm 3 or 4 years old. It's okay. And she's
You're
like
3?
3, 4. No, but it's just like 20s looking love scene. It's this very like Baroque. Go ahead, Tony. What do you got?
Don't worry, don't stop. I'm just putting a finger up.
So there was this like Baroque kind of love seat, and I thought it was something that you would, and they still had it in their basement. There's so much antique stuff that they're just probably throwing in that rollout dumpster.
Because I always say, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. Laura says she's got premium.
Yeah, she's got premium, so she doesn't have to worry about the ads.
That's
So
what I have.
like I said, Laura, I'm going to try to put my songs on there, but I'm also making the physical CD too, even though nobody's going to buy the damn thing. But I'm still
You're
going.
making a physical CD? That was a Olivia Newton-John song.
Well, that was physical graffiti.
I thought that was called Heart Attack.
Hardtack.
Hardtack.
No, I was
Hardtack
watching
was a
Password
nuclear
one
bomb,
day about
actually.
100 years ago, and one of them said hardtack, and the other one said, "Oh, coronary." No, it's because you can't use two words. It's like the thing with the other thing.
Well, there was actually a nuclear test in the 50s called Hardtack.
Yeah.
Not Heart Attack, but Hardtack. They call them operation. So like they're like actually.
You're giving me a hard tack.
Yeah, you remember that? I remember that song. It wasn't that bad a song.
No, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was kind of
Alright.
sad though, because then she passed away.
Oh, like 50 years later.
Well, yeah, but still.
I was sad when Olivia Newton-John
Oh,
passed
man,
away.
we all were.
It was-
Yeah, because we were hoping she would have beat her. Not that. Beat her lung.
The
her
thing, yeah.
breast cancer. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
the breast
you know, it's like what's her name, the Laura Branigan. You know, she did the
Oh,
Yeah,
thing.
goofy young.
Yeah,
She
like
was a
52.
long
I
time
could
ago.
have saved her. Damn it!
Why?
Why not?
What did she floofy of?
Oh, it was like some kind of like kidney disease brought on by too much drug use. She didn't OD, but the drug use eventually like caused like.
I
Damn
like
it.
that gap in her teeth.
Yeah.
It was sexy.
Yeah, she was in a movie with Ruth Gordon called Muggsy's Girls.
I
And
never
you'd
even saw what
appreciate that
Brandon looked
movie.
like.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, you gotta look it up.
Muggsy's Girls
Yeah.
was in an 80s movie.
Oh, very, very. It was so 80s. Oh boy, was it
Yo,
ever
man,
Why would,
80s.
why would I like it, Tony?
Because it's girls and they were like wrestling in stuff.
What?
Mud.
No,
No,
petunias. Petunias.
Oh,
You tell me Laura Branigan in the mud?
Oh, they kind of weaseled out of that, but the other ladies made up for it.
I'll have to check it out. Darren got the like a Duran Duran DVD in it. No, that was before DVD. It was VHS, but they had like the girls on film had an extended mix, and they had these girls, not like little girls, but they were like of age, but they were like mud wrestling and then naked, and then they were like hosing themselves off naked, kind of like the guys in the Billy Joel commercial. I mean, video.
But it's okay if it's like not guys.
Did you look that up, Steve? Because Tony doesn't believe me.
I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Oh, okay. It's Allentown.
Yeah.
I'm not making. Why would I make something like that up?
Well,
You know.
you actually are a creative person, so you do make stuff up.
I do make stuff up, but I'm if I'm harping on something like that, then it's real.
Speaking of you making something up, you know, I was just driving along the other day and I just started bursting out laughing because of something you guys said once.
Probably
And it
12 years ago.
I laughed for an hour. It was, the girl is 9. And I just started laughing.
Doggone girls, mine is because of that Benny More Donuts.
Yeah,
guy.
she's just 60 years
Yeah.
old.
They're just 6 years old. And that was like something we were really nailing on the run. That was back before he floofy recently, but he was like,
Yeah.
it's like a beautiful
What?
song. It's a really good song, but it's like the first 2 times he did it, not the third time. But
Oh, yeah.
but
He
it's
overdid
like
that song.
why couldn't he have just said she's 19 years old? Would it have really killed the song to have said that?
No, because in the rock and roll era, especially in the 50s, of course, back then it was, for kids. They didn't think rock and roll was for anybody over the age of 16. So everybody in the rock and roll was 16. Like, you're 16, I'm 84. It's like, what?
Yeah, but we're talking
Ringo
about
doesn't sing that song anymore, thank
We're
God.
talking about 1980, not like 1962. I mean,
But there was still, well, I mean, there was the Dylan. Bob Dylan had his song "Rainy Day Women 12 and 6 and 32" or whatever the fuck, and they were aged. That was the ages. That one of the women was 12 years old. Yeah,
I didn't never. Thanks, Tony. I didn't ever realize what that was about.
yeah.
I just thought it was some on drugs kind of a thing. But well, here's the thing. What made Benny's thing so much worse is his official video for it. He got this girl that looked like she was maybe 16, and she was just unhappy in the video and looked like she was so uncomfortable and didn't want to be anywhere near that pervert. I mean, really, watch the video. She's not into it. She just won't give him eye contact. And he's like a flyer on his magic carpet and all, and she won't even look at him. And it's just like, it looks like he's really having his way with this underage person. And it's really an uncomfortable video to watch. And that sure as heck didn't help the song.
Young girl,
Do you
get
remember-
out of my mind.
Yeah, like that. Do you remember the shit album covers?
Yeah.
There was one popular one about it was like Jenny's 16th birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had this guy that looked like some old Irish guy with this big beard at this tavern, and he's holding the hand of this girl and looks just like the one in that video, and she won't give him eye contact, and he's got these big beer mugs.
Nice.
And that's one of the ones where it looks like he's trying to have his way with this underage girl, and that's one. But have you ever seen it?
Don't think so.
That's like that song "Go Away, Little Girl."
Go away,
Look up
little
Goggle.
girl.
You've got my permission to look it up now. It's like shit album covers 16th birthday. Look it up.
Yeah.
I'll look it up for you and see if I can.
But I think Dr. Hook, there was one of the songs where he's crying. No, that's every song. But no, it was only 16, only 16. I've aged a year since you're fucking 40, you dumbass. You haven't aged a year since then.
Boy, it's the first one that came up. Okay, I'm going to download this picture and show it to you so you don't have to goggle it.
Sylvia's mother.
Sylvia's mother said, "Quit whining, you son of a bitch." God, every song, even with the happy songs, he's crying. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Steve's good at imitating that guy too. Okay, you ready to see this? I'm not
Well,
that, Steve.
Are we ever ready? But yes, please.
Hang on just a second. Here we go.
What are you going to show us?
This.
Oh yeah, she ain't happy being there, especially with that dude.
That's Julie's 16th birthday, and it's just showing part of the picture. There's some guy named his name doesn't matter. So that makes its round. That's made its round for 20 years on these horrible record covers. And so I actually read an article that the guy whose album it was, it wasn't his fault. He said he was at a restaurant with his manager, and the manager's he all of a sudden said, "Hey, let's make this album cover," and he went to this other family at a different table and got that girl to do that cover with.
Cool. Oh boy.
And she was awkward. He was embarrassed by it. The artist was. He didn't want to do that.
So she even get paid for it?
There was a song on his album that he didn't write. His manager wrote it. What it was about was a dad was giving his daughter this talking to on her 16th birthday to tell her you're not to drink and not to do this and that. So she goes out with her boyfriend, and on her way back, the dad is on his way back from the tavern drunk, and he hits them and kills them in their car. Lovely little song, right? And he was basically, the guy was forced to make that song from his manager. He hated the song.
Of course, like, well,
It
all those
didn't
damn teen death songs.
Yeah, and he said it didn't represent the songs on the album. And his manager made him do that. And then his manager made him take that stupid picture with that stranger girl that was so uncomfortable. So that guy, he got flack for the rest of his life for that stupid album cover. So it was good to at least know his side of the story.
Oh, yeah.
That it wasn't really his fault. So, that's what it's like. There's people in those I quit going to those local Facebook groups because these women they take pictures of someone double parked and put the picture on there. And then other people would say, well, maybe there was a car that was double parked and they forced them to be double parked. And then the person left. So it's all circumstantial. And that's kind of like that picture. It's just kind of, you think that the guy's a perv automatically, and you don't know that there's other sides of the story is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying?
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
What was the hair grease budget on this movie?
Ronco presents Andy Floyd, the Barber's 12 Greatest Hits. Featuring O. Andy.
I bought pomade for the first time in my life the other day.
Saw who?
Pomade.
Yeah.
It's Old
You remember that
Spice.
was with Sting back in the day?
No, it's some kind of hair.
Hair
grease
grease.
wax that you put in your hair just to kind of. To me, I get flyaways because I bleach my hair, and you get flyaways. So I'm kind of trying to solve that.
I get them because I'm old.
Kathy Coleman didn't bring her shampoo when we were on our weekend getaway. So I said you could use mine, and she was so worried that it would smell like a man, my shampoo. And I'm like, no, it's just
Yeah, it's just shampoo. It's all like man stink
it's
shampoo.
like Axe body wash.
It's
It's just shampoo. So
I'm
I ended
washing
up
my
giving her
body. Yeah, okay.
a bunch of my shampoo and conditioner before I left.
Ah.
So yeah, she got to use my. I kept the bottles
There you go.
because those are my Kathy Coleman shared bottle. It wasn't like that.
Cool.
Steve.
Did she sign them?
I should have her sign them.
Yeah, there you go. Because out here, the Mexican, the wonderful Hispanic people have something called tres flores, means three flowers in Espanol, and it's a jar, and the stuff, I guess it smells like three flowers to me. It stinks to high heaven, and it's hair grease, and you put it on your hair, but the smell. I smell it on the way to work. I'm riding my bicycle. I think, what the? It's like the whole damn town smells like that shit.
You mean?
These people taking a bath in this stuff?
Three flowers. What is it called?
Tres flores. It's three flowers, but it's in Spanish.
And what is it? Is it body wash?
No, hair grease. A hair dressing. A pomade.
Is it like activator or something?
No, it's just grease. It's just pomade. It just makes your hair shiny and makes you smell the fucking high heaven.
Well, the stuff I got is matte, so it's not supposed to shine it up. I just
okay, no, you want to look. You want to have that.
Like
you want to have that Dick Tracy look, where you're just shiny.
I want the Dick Tracy look. I just don't want my hair to look like a haystack.
Well,
there was a funny. You talked about commercials. There was a funny one for. It might have been fructose or whatever. The shampoo.
Oh yeah, fructose. I love that shit.
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago, and they had some woman. She sticks her toe in the swimming pool, and her hair just goes. It's like a porcupine when she does. I thought that was funny. Come on, that was funny. And it was,
yeah. Well, the hottest ones though were the Pantene commercials because the chicks all had like the hair was like longer than they were. It was like really.
Pantene.
Oh yeah.
I used to buy Pantene just because those commercials.
Yeah, but you're not a chick. I didn't really want the shampoo. I just want.
Chicks used to be envious of my hair.
I know that. I remember back in the 80s, I was driving along and I see this couple walking down the street, and the dude's hair was nicer than the chick's hair.
You know what the secret is? Is the dudes don't perm and straighten and bleach their hair every other day like the ladies do. And I do bleach my hair, so my hair. That's why I have to get rid of the haystack. But back in the day in the 90s, I didn't do all that stuff. And that's when I got the compliments, as my hair was all long and silky. It's because I didn't do anything with it. Except I probably did fill it with bleach every day because I pressure washed almost every day these houses, driveways.
If I could do a Clairol commercial here.
You're getting close. If they got you can be Ben Franklin playing the kite.
Yeah.
What got the Clairol hair?
There was one commercial I used to like, and I bought a product because it was tampons.
Tampons?
What?
Yeah.
Tampons.
I was doing an impression of the Joker. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his every joke he did had to do with Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart.
Yeah.
Crap. What does the K in Kmart stand for? Crap.
Crap. Can't even spell crap right.
Crap.
Boy, that was
that was a genius timing though. It was just crap.
That's what I was going to ask you, Timmy. Who was that guy you had on that was multitasking?
Mark Whitaker.
Yeah, that was something else.
Which that was sad for me because he was one of my best friends when I was 13, and I really needed a best friend back then. And he was actually technically Darren's friend, but he spent more time with me than he did Darren. He was always with me after school, and we would hang out. And we would ride bikes for like, all the way downtown Denver, like 14 miles to get. We had so much fun together for years. And then he joined the Navy and became career Navy. And I discovered him on Facebook, about 10 years ago. And, said, hey, I'm Timmy Ross. You remember? And he remembered Darren, and he said he didn't remember me. And I'm just like, it's not like some kid that sat in front of me in math class. It's like, this is the guy that we spent every afternoon together. We made movies together. We did everything. Not everything, Tony. Jeez.
But I don't remember. I don't think he ever actually made it onto the cut of the show.
No, I don't think he did because what happened was, so I got him on here thinking, because he was the funniest guy I'd ever known. He was like a young Steve Martin. And some of the jokes I said on the wrong channel, they had you guys roll on the floor were things he just kind of said up on the top of his head. He was so funny, but something in the Navy, and Gottschalk pretty much kind of told me what it probably was, but he was just like, yeah, when they're that long in the military, it just basically it sucks their soul out, their brain, and that's kind of how it was with him. And when I got him on our show, the funny wasn't there. The timing wasn't there. He said something before the show even started where he cussed and tried to do something crass and I think even I was just like, oh gosh, damn. All of us were like, oh fuck, what are we in for? It wasn't funny. And then when we get people on our show, we would have them come in for when Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch, Robbie Risk came, we were like, okay, can you set it up to like you go into the wrong door? You're looking for somebody.
It was perfect. He pulled it off like a fucking champ.
Yep, because he's a pro and he did it just fine. Whitaker, we gave him basically a similar thing, and we're recording, we're doing our thing, and nothing.
Yeah.
30 seconds ago, we're like, you were there. He's like, oh, I'm multitasking. And we're like, okay. And then we couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed because this is my friend and I'm the one that brought him here. And then Steve did another one with some guy that fixed your computer or something. And the guy got the impression that he was going to be a regular on the show. And we'd never even talked to him before.
Oh, who was I don't remember who that was. Oh yeah, what was his name?
I don't remember. That was kind of sad because he wasn't necessarily unfunny. We didn't get that far because he just automatically came in. It was like it was more of a misinterpretation. He thought he was going to be a regular, and we never even met him. And Allie was probably even more. He's like, she's like, look, we don't even know you. We can't just, because he bought a new microphone for it. I felt bad for him.
Oh my God. That was worse than Gottschalk.
Yeah. But he, but I kind of felt bad about that situation. So I don't even know. We never even really gave him a chance. But
I
think
can't even remember his name.
Do what?
I can't even remember his name.
I don't know, but he left, and he was. He was so disappointed, and I felt bad. But it's like that was like and I think after then we figured we would never get another guest unless they were celebrities or unless we actually kind of screened them and did things ahead of time, and which that worked out for us after that. What? Yeah, and there was that guy Tim on. In our shit show days, remember that there was a DJ in England called Tim On, and it was back when Shaz and everybody was with us, and he was on our show and was kind of silent, and he left halfway. He was like, "That guys, this isn't for me." He left.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
he was a smart one. I expect Rhea was with us, and Doc G, and Shaz.
Rhiannon.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I remember she did her show at like in the middle of the night on Q-Star. It was a wonderful middle of the night show. And the night that your orange boy won the that office that he won. Oh my God. It was like, Fellini couldn't have come up with a fucking better script.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh boy. She played that damn Frank Sinatra fucking thing about, oh, democracy. And I was like, come on, Frank. And it was just, she was inconsolable that night.
Democracy.
I have not heard from her since then.
No, she unfriended me on Facebook and just kind of,
yeah.
Because she thought she had to spell her name backwards to be on Facebook or some shit.
Well, this tells you anything about the person. And I have nothing really against her.
No, she's fine.
When you go by a song from your favorite band, Rhiannon, which is Fleetwood Mac, is her favorite. So she had to go by that name. And then it's like she would leave her mic on and hot mic herself cussing when things were mic.
In chat, I would say, I wouldn't say your mic's on. I would say, don't say, oh shit.
She would anyway. That's the only thing that made it entertaining. Tracy and I would both be laughing listening to her.
What got me is back then I had to put people on the air. Whoever's going to do a show, I had to do that with Songsmith and I do that with Rhiannon, and then they would call me in the middle of the night and say they dropped the stream. I'm sleeping, and they would call me at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, because she's cussing?
No, because the stream wasn't working.
You dropped the stream, and I'd have to put her back on.
Ah. And no, Timmy, her full DJ name was Rhiannon Landslide.
Oh, I remember that. That's even worse.
And, every night she'd play like, oh, God, yeah. No, it was like 3 songs she'd play from fucking Rumors.
I hate that album.
Everybody in my high school had that album but me.
I can't stand it.
And she was just putting grapes under the wheel of the bus. Oh.
I never. We were. I did that before. I got in trouble for it. Darren, we were at a used record store, and he bought Rumors and Thriller. I'm like, why did you buy these pieces of shit? And he says, because you're supposed to, because everybody owns them. He literally bought these records because everybody owned them.
No, when I was in high school, it was Rumors, and it was Saturday Night Fever, and it was the single of Smoke on the Fucking Water.
Well, I don't even think Darren would have gone as far as getting Saturday Night Fever.
I remember a lot of people in my high school always had Frampton Comes Alive or Frampton Alive, whatever it was.
That was the other one, yeah.
Frampton Takes Off His Pants.
Yeah, there you
go. I couldn't stand it because I think there's 3 things I didn't like about Frampton. One
his hair, which is gone now.
Yeah, besides that, it's like, so, and I've said this on the wrong channel, I still don't understand it. That because you couldn't escape it on classic rock radio, that song that in the middle, there's like 10 minutes of them going whoop, and everybody goes,
oh, I hated that
shit. I don't know what the hell they're doing. And I couldn't stand it. And there was an interview with them.
With a damn vocoder. It was like 3 hours of vocoder.
I mean, yeah, it's like, and we were going down that with the wrong channel. It was a very funny kind of segment because we went through this conversation, and Allie's like, well, the thing is, it's the first time people heard it. And I'm like, okay. There was probably a first time I heard the accordion, but I didn't go, you know. So it's like, so my thing is, my other thing I didn't like about him is what?
Do you feel like we do? Ah!
Yeah, I know. So there was like a rock line interview or something that was on the radio, and he was just so into smelling his own shit. He was up there talking about how he walked into a banquet and he said the ELO was at a table and nobody was looking at ELO, and like Kiss or Led Zeppelin was, and nobody, they were just looking at him. And like, it's probably because your fly was open or something. You know, it just made it, he just was like acting like this. I don't know. It really threw me off. And then Josh really liked the Sergeant Pepper movie. He's the only one. But he
Oh
was
my
like 7
God!
years
You know,
old.
I saw that in the theaters. That, or as I like to call it, that damn 1978 movie.
Yeah.
Was that Peter Frampton in there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Frampton, the
Well,
Bee
the thing
Gees,
is,
Aerosmith, and fucking the old guy thing.
George
Dude,
Burns.
George Burns, that was it.
So the thing is Gracie liked that campy stuff, but Josh watched it, and he was only like 8 years old, so he didn't know the difference. But we actually together wrote a note to Peter Frampton, and that he really liked it and said how old he was, and Frampton never responded to it. So that's another reason I don't like that guy.
Well, Casey Kasem called me, so he wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine. It's fine that he actually responded to you. I don't like it when people. I understand they get a lot of letters and things, but you know, some of them do everything they can to respond to. Mr. Rogers is one. He responded to everyone. If someone's Don Knotts, responded to every fan letter, and I wish I would have sent them one, knowing that.
Or Ringo, because he was still answering ones from the 60s and the like 90s.
He finally announced that he stopped.
Yeah.
I think it was sometime after The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Put him on there because The Simpsons did a thing about that Marge 30 years later he finally wrote, and that probably put another like 14 million letters. I think eventually he just said he publicly said he can't keep doing it. But yeah, at least he tried. But it annoys me when some people. I mean, Steve told me about a guy that he saw on YouTube that I liked, and he like did funny Jeff Lynne impressions. He was kind of a funny guy, and I saw him on Facebook and said something, and he never responded for me. And I'm like, you're not even big time, and you can't even respond to people that compliment you. So,
Well, I don't respond to people either.
what?
I don't respond to people either. The hell with them.
That's why you don't have any fans, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I try to respond to everybody. Well, you know,
When I did the morning show, I don't know if they were bullshit emails, but I would get letters and emails a lot praising how good the morning show is. And
It had to be
I'm like,
bullshit.
yeah, it had to be bullshit.
did you at least try to respond to them?
Oh yeah, I did.
Well, that's what counts, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, with Transforma, I get a lot of stuff from people.
Oh, yeah.
I've got like almost 18,000. So
Well, I think they get off on that stuff. They think, "Ooh, she turned into a constellation." They're like whacking it to it.
Ollie, like when, well, you know that some people did mention they're impressed that I actually made a constellation plane because a lot of people are enthusiasts. They're like, I can't believe you actually made an authentic constellation. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But a lot of people, they comment, and I try my best to. The only people I don't respond to are ones that just type gibberish.
Yeah.
Or stuff that I can't even. They're just like, max 24,000. I'm like, I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just going to let it go because I don't know what the hell. They're talking about something that they saw in a cartoon yesterday. It has something that has nothing to do with me, and I wouldn't even know where to go with it.
Yeah.
And they're probably 6 years old. That one, the Charger one I did last week, I didn't think it would do any good. I didn't have any faith in it. I was almost like halfway not going to put it up there. And
Yeah.
so far, it's got 100% likes and 100 likes, which I don't
God.
think I've ever gotten that kind of ratio before.
Well, not here. Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm happy
wow.
when we get 10.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, that 100 likes. I mean, it's got like 2,500 views, but 100 likes and no dislikes. That's pretty damn good.
Oh, that's right. As the creator, you actually get to see the dislikes because the average person they don't show them anymore.
Yeah, I get to see. Well, you can just get you can get an app on Firefox.
Yeah.
With it. But then usually you get a few assholes. Like in the first couple days, you start getting assholes putting dislikes. But it's like shit. This one's got 100% solid. I've never had that before for this long, and it won't last forever. But I'm just like, wow, I didn't even believe in that video, but because I think it's kind of what I said, Tony, before. It's like after Tracy becomes the Charger car or whatever, it doesn't just end. But, he's showing her off all her parts, and then she kind of goes down the drag strip at like 2 miles an hour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Gottschalk wrote that part. Terry's like, hey, come on, show people what you got. She's like, what's such a beautiful day? I just want to take everything. And she's going like, he's like, some race car you are.
Yeah.
People loved it.
What is that girl's problem behind you there, Tony? What is her problem?
Because he's going to go and like stop the missile or something like that, like stop on the fuse or something, or pee on the fuse.
Oh, her acting's terrible.
No, it's not.
Because what is this like that?
Well, that's the director told her to do that.
Well, I think part of it too is you're not hearing the sound.
Oh, yeah, what do you look at her like she's just smoking away? You know when all smoking.
That would have been funny. And you would have said that's pretty funny acting.
Oh, look at this goof.
They look like Gilligan with long hair.
These are all Canadians, so to hell with them.
Oh, stupid people.
And this guy's like from the 20s with like giant ears.
No, he looked like somebody from this day. If I wish they'd show him again. He actually looked very familiar.
Really? Okay.
Well, not
now they're all ducking and covering. For some reason, we had to duck and cover. I think once or twice when I was in like grade school, first grade or whatever the hell.
We're all Cold War babies.
Well, because the 50s were the real decade of the duck and cover, but even in the 60s, we sort of had to do it once in a while.
Oh, believe me, Tony, it continued into the 80s. There was that.
Well, no, because they renewed it. They made it all because of Reagan. They made it all fresh again. Oh, all of a sudden we're going to get into a nuclear war because I was like, come on. But yeah, because we had like The Day After and Threads and all that crap on TV.
I was so scared of it. I mean, it really it worried the shit because it didn't help that Darren just because he hated me and he would just tell it's going to happen and your skin's going to melt or whatever. He made it so much worse. And I was just like, what the hell happens? Because the library had a fallout shelter. But that was like that was probably half a mile away. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to grab the cats? Am I going to have to run to this shelter that's like, with a...
Well, no, it's like in the Terminator where you grab the chain link fence and just turn into a skeleton.
Well, that by the time that came out, I was kind of over it.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a 50s thing that they revived in the 80s.
Yeah, because I don't remember being afraid of it in the 70s. It was like the early 80s when it was really... And, of course, you had all these assholes in school that were like, oh, yeah, the end of the world's going to happen in 1985. And, that Nostradamus said it. No, it's not. He didn't say 1985. He said 1986. Then it was 89. Then it was 96. Then it was 2000. And,
Then it was 2001. Then, oops. Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I didn't really like. What's her name? Joy? No, what was her name?
Joint?
Who was the radio doctor, radio shrink?
Dr. Laura?
Huh?
Oh, Dr. fucking Laura. Oh my God.
Dr. Laura.
Mine, she came on because she always came on right after Rush Limbaugh, and
Yeah.
my mom said, "What the hell is that?" Because she had the worst voice for radio in the
And she was
world,
attitude.
in the history of the world, was the worst voice. And my mom, the first time she heard it, it's like, "What the fuck was that?" Because every time Rush's show was over, I had to like run to the radio and shut it off before she came on.
I didn't like her, but I remember I was hearing her show right after 9/11, and there was a lot of people were listening to these assholes' theories that, this is Revelation, this is the end of the world, this and that, and you got Nostradamus predicted this and all this, and some woman was really worried about it and called her up, and she's like, "Listen, he was a dentist. He made like 10,000 pages of gibberish that you couldn't make heads or tails of. So you could say anything you wanted about anything he said." And I'm just like, well, amen, girl. Thanks for saying that, because a lot of people were really worried, because that's all the assholes always mention that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you put 10,000 pages of gibberish, then that's basically, she said it like it was. And Jesus himself says he didn't even know the end of the world when the day. He says only the Father knows. And he said, beware of all the false prophets.
Yeah.
Like Steve.
Yeah.
With his golf gay shirt. What does that mean, golf gay?
There he went. Now he exploded. Look, he exploded.
Wow. That looks like one of those test footages from the 50s.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Gulf Bay.
Gulf to Bay.
Oh, to Bay. I thought it was just I guess that's a fish or a squid or whatever the fuck that thing was. And then Batacle in El Paso Beach, Florida.
St. Pete, yeah.
Oh.
And the back of my shirt is big letters that says "Bite Me."
Ah.
I got it from a friend of mine whose family runs a bait and tackle shop down in St. Pete.
Oh, cool. Guns and bait in the back. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
It's like the people who say, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms should be not a government agency, but like a convenience store.
Yeah.
See, now he's got to like turn the missile off or some shit.
And
he's wearing a fishbowl. And those guys are wearing more hair grease than you can even buy nowadays. There you go.
I'm going to have to call it quits here in a second. I am beat.
You got to hang out for another 13 minutes. We're almost over. Even though it's still broad daylight. I never get used to the summer out here.
Well, it's dark here. I don't know if you can tell. Look, turn my light off.
There you go. But it's still raining, or is it just leftover water on the windows?
Yeah, it's still raining.
Nice.
It's raining lightly.
Only go lightly. See, we gotta filibuster until until Timmy comes back, because he snuck off.
Yeah.
Time to interception.
He doesn't even say.
Well, because if you gotta go, you gotta go. You can't waste time saying, "Oh, I'm going somewhere," and then say, "Okay, bye," and then he's still talking. It's like, dude, just go.
I've been here the whole time, and I haven't had to go pee yet.
No, he's got like a thing.
Well, I don't want to hear about his thing.
Oh boy! See, there goes the rocket. Down goes free.
I'm hoping I'm back in the saddle again soon with everything, the station.
Please, man, we miss you.
I miss everything too. I'm even considering bringing back a morning show or something.
Oh, cool.
But
that means I have to get up.
I don't want to do it like I did before, though. No games and none of that shit,
Well, no, because the games just end up pissing people off.
It was.
I think the games ended up just pissing people off. It's like, oh,
yeah,
we gotta guess this, and it's like some weird chlamydia or whatever the fuck that guess the game shit. And your game that was like drugs or some crap.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was when I did the Wheel of Fortune game with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Steve, it looks like it's still daylight where you are, Steve. Aren't we
No,
in
he's
the
got
same-
lights on. It's night. It's raining. It's a rainy night in
That's
Florida.
behind me.
Oh, okay, because it's
Chlamydia,
like pitch
chlamydia.
black where I'm living, and I don't live that far from you.
Yeah.
I'll turn the light out. See how dark it is.
No, it still looks like daylight outside your phone.
But you got the outside lights at the jail or wherever the fuck you're at.
Feels like a jail.
So Putt,
anyone-
I guess Putt like fell over and can't get up. He's like a weeble, but he wobbles and he does fall down. I was gonna have
Isn't he like an opposite of a weevil? Get up.
I wanted him to see this. See that one dude there. I mean, all these people are like in a fire getting burned up. That one dude there seems only mildly annoyed at being thrown in a fire.
Oh, what a nice picture. Oh, gee.
But they all seem to be like, some of them are like, big deal. Oh, this happens every week.
It's another fucking fire. You know?
All this medieval shit.
So Thomas stopped at my house last night, and I was gone because of that stupid play rehearsal.
Oh my God.
Who stopped by?
My friend Thomas, he's been on the show with me before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy
okay.
who like starts playing guitar for no reason.
Yeah.
I wonder what neighbors he got a pool liner from. My
Yeah,
noisy
a poo
neighbors?
liner? I'm sorry. Yay.
Oh, pool liner.
Yeah, Steve says
Is
he's
that
definitely got to
backwards?
bring that back. No, it's not backwards.
Oh, it was like this.
No, it's not like these damn TikTok videos where people are screaming in their cars and they're sitting on the wrong side of the car. And he's put, wait a second, are you in England? No, because their T-shirt is backwards too. So, oh yeah, okay. Because the clowns.
All these fucking liberals that are losing it in their cars. You know?
They should be driving. That's why there's so many
Hey! It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah, okay, whatever.
I can't believe he fucking won. What the?
And that's just Ron Perlman.
God. What about Ben Grant? Oh,
I
okay.
still get this in my head sometimes, and I hate it. It's like, don't say gay, don't say what. I'm like, shut the. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh.
My pronouns are they and them. What is wrong with you?
Oh.
He's just 60 years old.
I should watch it. We might get a strike from YouTube or something.
No, you're not talking about ivermectin. I mean, don't buy it. It's no good. It's for horses, even though it's actually approved for humans.
Yeah, I've got the apple flavor.
This one here. Where is she? That one there. Look at that. Doesn't even give a shit that they're being burned up in a big fire. Doesn't even give a shit. Just sitting there going, whatever.
Oh my.
Oh my. And that guy over there, it's like something else is going to happen. He's looking over to the other side. It's like, now what? I love medieval artists. I do.
That's almost like a putt art. He does that. That's almost his style, really.
That's why I wanted him to see it, but since he decided to become a light the loafers or something, I don't know what happened to him.
Well, you showed
What was the last-
that thing. But
What
yeah,
was
No, he
Last
was
thing
sick
you know.
last week. He said, "Oh, I fell over and I got sick or some shit." I don't know. The usual crapola.
No,
no, he
it's
said he
okay.
was feeling a fever. I just,
Yeah,
I don't, why do these people, what do we, it's like we need to get people that aren't in hospice care to be on our show.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And my thing is when Putt's like, come on, man, all the time.
Yeah,
He keeps talking about this guy named Corn Puff.
good old corn pop. Yeah, he was a bad dude.
A bad dude.
That around the time he liked kids rubbing the hair on his leg.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
he said he had these blonde hairs on his legs that would stand up when the black kids rubbed it, and he found out a lot about roaches.
Now, say
I'm not
what you
making
will
this up.
about Grimm's
If you
fairy
look at the
tales.
speech, it was one of the most bizarre things we'd ever. And that was probably with the teleprompter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This was from a children's book my mom read to me from. So if you complain about Grimm fairy tales and all that shit.
I had to get like real close to see it.
Oh, there you go.
My eyes suck.
My suck.
So I never laid a hand. My eyes suck. Oh.
See, they loved scaring the shit out of kids back then. It wasn't like nowadays. You know, we grew up different. Like, I still want to find out that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just saying, back in grade school, they showed us a picture of the film about child abduction, and this little girl got abducted, and then you see this guy that abducted her about to hit her in the head with a rock, and then they fade away to just seeing her shoe floating in the water.
Sweet.
I mean, they're showing this shit to grade school kids.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. We were tougher back then. Or like that one Disney movie. I'd love to find what the title of that was. But the first thing is, it's an orphan kid, and they show him. His father goes off the cliff in like an old '52 Chevy, and the thing is just on fire from bumper to bumper. The thing is on fire, and so then he had to go to his wicked stepmother or some shit. And then the rest of the movie was just him being sad all the time. It was just it's wonderful, like children's entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, they don't show anything to kids like that. No, now they got drag queen story time.
Oh, there you go. And back in the day, we had Dame Edna. He, she, that was funny.
Dame Edna, that rings a bell.
It was an Australian dude who played a woman. And it was like, or Monty Python. They had dressed up as women, and it was funny.
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Now, you couldn't do Mrs. Doubtfire. And I finally got to see that movie years later. And the whole first part of the movie, he's like crank calling. You could tell the movie was made before caller ID.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't have, the plot wouldn't have worked with caller ID.
And Sally Fields, she was supposed to be married to him the whole time.
Yeah.
And she couldn't recognize him or recognize the voices he was doing.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the '60s, like when Samantha would put on like a dark wig and become, what's her name?
Serena.
Yeah. Pandora Spox.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
That was another game of yours.
But Jeannie, with her sister, they never showed her as a different actress.
Yeah.
On their credits.
Was she?
It was Pandora Spox.
Yeah, on Bewitched, they put Serena as Pandora Spox on the credits.
Yeah.
But I didn't Jeannie. I don't even think they listed Jeannie's sister.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they knew that was Barbara Eden with the black wig on.
Yeah.
Who do you think stole from who? Do you think Jeannie stole it from Bewitched, or Bewitched stole it from Jeannie?
Well, it could have been like the Dick Van Dyke Show, because Mary Tyler Moore had like black on one side and blonde on the other side.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could pick up that. Yeah. I like Serena better than I did Jeannie's sister.
Hopefully I'll get to meet Barbara Eden in a couple months.
You better, because she's 90 something.
Yeah,
I'll
pay to meet her because I've always loved Jeannie all my life.
Oh yeah.
I would like to finally meet. She's got to be pushing 90 now.
She's over 90. She's over 90, dude.
She was in her 30s in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
and
was
she still looks beautiful.
Because that was just
Well,
60
I'll
years
tell
ago.
you, Steve, when I see her.
Well, I'm hoping that I can go to the convention. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I'm hoping I can see you because I still get those lines from you, Steve. We don't have them written yet, so no big hurry. But
I don't even know if I can still do hoodoo. It's mental.
Yeah, well,
for
of
God's
course you
sake,
can.
if you're doing Steve Arini, not hoodoo.
Same thing.
People love it. People love your Steve Arini. They love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And did you see where I've had to cut my own voice and do the Steve Arini where you didn't finish your line?
Yeah.
Well, we'll try and work that out.
So you're like, my lovely assistant Tracy has asked for a raise this morning, and I'm happy to oblige. All you need to do is go up the ladder and jump into this pool for under 5 seconds. It's like you could just tell when I cut it off and do it my voice. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Kind of like when
Yeah, what are you
David
doing?
Cassidy on Partridge Family would sing in his voice, and then it would go to another voice in the middle of the song.
Oh, nice.
No, there was one song that happened in Partridge Family.
You what now?
Partridge Family.
The Partridge Family, they would when the show first started, they were just going to have David Cassidy lip sync.
Lip sync.
Lip sync. Lip.
That's disgusting, Steve. What are you doing?
I can imagine a lip sync.
That's gross.
Oh, you gotta love bloopers. Yikes.
And by the way, Steve, when you play the bass guitar, you don't strum it.
You pluck it.
Oh, pluck you.
That was probably about the funniest thing off the Partridge Family, and it didn't even make the cut, did it?
Yeah, no, I didn't. That was behind the scenes.
Yeah, when Keith told Danny, he's like, by the way, when you play the bass guitar, you don't strum it.
You pluck it.
No, I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, fellas.
When are you going to get Wesley on their show, Steve?
Wesley, get on our
I
show.
tried, and you were here when I told you the story.
Well, I heard it before I got on, so.
Ah.
Well, it's in your court because I knew
Yeah.
I was shooting for dead ducks when I asked him, because I've been waiting for you to come out here for a year to ask Wesley, and you didn't come around. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll ask Wesley, and I'll put Steve in. I'll even, when he kind of gave me that mediocre answer, I'm like, well, I mentioned that Steve needs our help and get out of hiding. And he said, damn. So I think he's concerned, but
Yeah.
Well,
you know what you need to do,
Huh?
Steve? Is message Wesley and said,
Message?
please, Mr. Andrew.
No, you were doing that thing with a mom with like 8 kids, and where you're saying every name.
Steve was?
You were. You were going, because you were going, blah, 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 blah. And you were going through the whole jukebox and trying to, and eventually came up with Steve.
Today?
Just now.
Well, maybe I will find it and put it in a precious moment if it's good enough, because I have no idea what I just did.
Okay.
you got to put, in your precious moments, you got to put limp sync in. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Or these guys.
Oh, I thought you said lip stink.
At first, I was trying to say lip sync, but it came out limp.
Yeah. Yeah, because they did that song, da 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 da.
You know, and Steve, I've said this before, and as much as I hate the 80s, I really enjoyed Pseudo Echo's version of that song and hated the disco 70s version of it.
I love Pseudo Echo's version.
Well, they played at my high school.
Huh?
Yeah, they're an Australian band. They played at my high school, and all we had to do was donate a soup can to get into the auditorium of our school and watch Pseudo Echo do their concert.
Pseudo Echo played it live for you?
Yeah, at my Aurora Central High School, and I had to
Oh, nice.
I called I was like Leave It to Beaver episode. I didn't have a soup can. I think my grandma helped me out and came out and got me a soup can. I don't remember what happened, but I was able to donate the soup can and go into my auditorium and watch Pseudo Echo, and I had like fourth or fifth row. It was really neat, and
Oh, nice.
it was probably my second concert I ever went to, because Frankie Goes to Hollywood was the first, but that was Red Rocks, and that was a big deal. But yeah, it was pretty neat. They did great, and I bought their tape. I still have it somewhere, but yeah, that was I liked that song before I even knew they were coming to
That kind of happened to me back in late '70s. We were doing a walk for life, like a walkathon, and right there after the whole walk was over, we had a big party in the park, and Van McCoy was there, and they did The Hustle.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Casey the Sunshine Band.
Van McCoy.
Really, I didn't know that, Steve. I thought Casey did all of those kind of funkadelic white.
So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Because I thought Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons did every song with falsetto, and no, I don't mean the Bee Gees. I mean the fucking '60s ones. I like that and butter. I like that stupid shit.
Beats.
And the greasy beats, yeah, I know.
Beats and
the stupid beats. And Hurricane Smith or whatever the fuck that was.
Well, there was also who did Lightning Strikes?
That was Frankie Valli, yeah.
No, Lightning Strike.
Yeah, it was the Lou Christie Minstrels.
Lou Christie. Yeah, so did I tell you this, Steve? So I discovered a Lou Christie album from like 1971 that was absolutely gorgeous. And I played one of his songs on one of the last Fun Hours. And I was so impressed that I sent him a little stupid fan letter on his Facebook. And all he did was give me a thumbs up, which is it's equivalent to fuck you. And,
it's not.
It is so.
It is not, you dumbass.
So I'm saying whenever I give a thumbs up, is that fuck you?
It basically is. What it means is conversation's over, is what it means. So
if you put up an Apology None song and I give thumbs up, you're saying that's a fuck you?
No, not if it's no. If I say Steve, look, if I email you and say Steve, I really enjoyed this latest show you did. I loved when you said this and that and the other, and I think you're really good. And if you just give me a thumbs up, that means the conversation's over. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sort of, maybe.
What if you go? I'm just saying. So I'm just saying. My feelings weren't hurt because I didn't even know the guy, but I'm just like, okay, well, I guess that's it. I won't play his stuff on my show anymore. But get this, like 8 months later, or maybe a year later, he commented on my same thing, said, well, it's great hearing from you. So it's almost like he wasn't in the mindset at the time, and then re-saw it again and decided to give it a legitimate comment. And I'm like, well, I guess we're on good terms again with Lou Chris. I'll play another one of his songs. That's all.
All right.
And what were we just saying before that? Because I was trying to hold that
thing.
Memory buffer issue.
Joe Biden moment.
Joe Biden.
Right before Lou Christie, right before the Bee Gees.
Oh, it was Lightning Strikes Again. No, that was
right before that.
No more bread and butter. Oh no, you were saying it was the song that was the thing, and you thought it was what's his name, and it was the other what's his name.
Okay, drill a little deeper.
You thought it was Casey and the Bunshine Band.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
And it was actually the Floopers.
Well, what song was that? I mean, we're going on the right course.
We're talking about The Hustle?
What are we talking about?
Yeah, it was who did that song? And it was like Sloopy and the other Sloopy.
Oh, we're getting there.
Daniel what?
Van McCoy.
Van McCoy.
which totally doesn't even ring a bell. But before that,
Before that?
After that.
After that.
No, it was right about the same time because I even put a bookmark in my head and it's gone.
Shit.
You should use a teleprompter.
I guess because I was just like I'm trying to I'm like, okay, this is a good conversation.
Oh,
but
you
I
were talking
wanna
about
get-
pseudo echo, and you actually got to see pseudo echo in jail.
That's right. Let me see if I can go there. This is probably isn't it, but yeah, I really loved Funky Town. I listened to it when I was in the Ozarks, and I loved the song, and so it was great seeing them.
Ah.
And the 70s version just sucked. It just sounded seedy and like working at the car.
Well,
wash
everything
kind of
did
thing.
back then.
Well, to be fair, the lip sync version was the 1980s.
And I think the Lips Incorporated one was on the Malcolm in the Middle, where Heisenberg did a roller disco thing. Oh, that was before he was Heisenberg.
I was thinking about that show, Malcolm in the Middle, just the other day because it wasn't my favorite, but there was one episode that was pretty damn good. Did you see the one where the mom was away at work or something, and the dad decided to surprise her by bringing home some kind of curio, some kind of cabinet, antique cabinet, and he didn't realize that there was a bats. It was full of bats.
Oh, nice.
And it was a really neat episode. They opened up and this bats are all over that. Just really scary. All these bats are everywhere. And they're trying to rid the house of all these bats. And it was the bats were getting the best of them through a lot of it. But finally they figured out this technique, the boys and the dad. And they did this really, it was almost a Bugs Bunny-like chain reaction thing where they got the bats out of the house with all these different clever contractions that they came up with, bats and kites, but they got all the bats out of the house. It was really neatly done. And then the wife got home and he was beat from all that, and he was in bed. She's like, "Oh, what's that?" He's like, "Oh, it's the cabinet, baby." She's like, "Oh, that's nice, thank you, honey." And he's like, "Good night." It was just like she didn't know it, but for once, it wasn't like the dad's a total dumbass. It's like the kids and the dad, they actually got together and got the same.
Yeah.
It was just kind of nice to change, It was like Ward Cleaver could have done it. It's like Ward Cleaver was never a dumbass.
Right.
And neither was June, really. It was kind of like Dick Van Dyke. They didn't try to degrade people for anything. They didn't try to degrade women or men. They just look at Dick Van Dyke. Laura and Rob were both dumbasses. Both of them were. I think equally. And that kind of made the show work. He wasn't an idiot more than she was.
Yeah. Just when he tripped over the Ottoman Empire.
That only happened half the time. And then who was the one? It was only Sally that I couldn't stand.
Yeah.
And I
Now,
Sally,
the thing is, these little like upholstered footstools, apparently they used to have their own empire.
well, they talked about in the Bible, like
The Ottoman
like
Empire.
no, they talked about some of the like the worst people would become the footstool of some. They talked about Ottomans.
Oh, okay.
Deb thought that Lucy was an Ottoman when she was fat, because Lucy used to be obese and she was like an Ottoman. You just put your feet on her.
Oh, you're talking about the dog.
Well, who did you think I was talking about?
I think you're talking about Lucille Ball.
Oh, I would like to put I would like to put my not when she's 80, but at least when she was, in her
I don't
prime.
think she ever made it. Well, yeah, I think so.
I liked it when she fell
See,
in the
there's your
mud
boy there.
in the long
There's.
trailer.
He later became the president of the United States.
I thought he later became Richie Cunningham's brother.
Both, yeah. Unfortunately, the kid only got probation.
So do you think
Chuck
Lucy
was,
actually fell in the mud in the long trailer, or do you think that was a stunt double?
No, I think you're right. I think she dug it.
I
Had
really
to
think
have.
she
Had
did.
to
I think
have.
She liked
Oh,
that stuff.
this is that video of the homosexual.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Oh, wait, get out of that. I'm talking about Lucille Ball falling in the mud
In the long trailer.
Yeah, and getting her head dunked in chocolate and all.
Yeah.
I think she done it. That's okay. I
She
like
must
it
have.
too.
Yeah, she must have.
Oh, is that this video?
Yep.
Okay, that's a.
And there's the ducks.
I want to
And it
see her
gets,
play the long trailer where she falls into the mud because she like disappears in the mud. It's so
Yeah.
neat.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nice.
he gets on probation for going with the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fortunately, he didn't get thrown in jail for being a. Anyhow,
Yeah.
but look at their fishing there. Fishing for dudes.
That sounds like a game show. Welcome to Fishing with Dudes or for Dudes.
Hey, Opie. Hey, Opie. Can you whistle? Dad, you made me do that last time, and then you did me up the. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Come on. Steve, that's terrible.
Opie, stop that fucking whistling before I slap you upside your head.
Remember when we did that wrong channel when we were kind of trying to reimagine like a reboot of Andy Griffith where
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
the path going to the river and Opie just all of a sudden
Take me
grabs
to
the badge
the-
off of his shirt and Andy smacks the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when they had the van? It was back when the Molly and I think even Six was there, where they were in the van and Andy was like arresting them for being hippies.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't Molly? Didn't she do the voice for Don Knotts or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I was just Terry, as I always am. I think.
Well, and Vicky tried doing
I know what
HD.
happened to that. It sucked.
Yeah. I don't think that ever got saved anywhere.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
probably
think it
around
needed
somewhere.
to be. It's something we tried and it didn't come off.
Here's
you know,
the kid. He got probation for being, and so he had to go to reform school.
Steve was Andy, and I think he like kicked our tail light out, but
Yeah.
said it was a headlight, and we didn't plan it. It was not your fault, Steve.
Well, it was kind of improv, you know.
It was very
Yeah, of course.
rough. We didn't. I forgot all about that piece of shit.
I don't forget. I forget my own name, but I don't forget that stuff.
Fortunately, I don't have the recording of that anymore. So,
You know, I used to record the raw stuff we did. Remember?
yeah, you did.
Yeah,
In case
yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah, but I don't know if I still got it. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to look for that stuff. It's been 12 years.
Yeah.
12
Well, I hope
agonizing
I hope
years.
we can get back to normal and get a place and get set up again and be back to this full time. And
Oh yeah, then we wouldn't have to worry
Steve,
about Putt
is
because
it
Putt
such
could
a
go
big
be
deal for
dead.
you to do that in the car because you're doing fine.
Actually, yeah.
it's just weekly circumstances.
Well, can't you just hide in the car?
That's I wish.
At least you got a running
It seems
car.
like it's a good reprieve for you because those other dumb fucks that are on our show won't help us out. They won't even tell us what's going on.
I mean,
I mean, the
they didn't
car's
say a
been
damn
running.
thing today. Putt could be like, fucking, on fire, and we wouldn't know.
I know even if Putt floofies, he could at least tell us.
Jen
he's
could say,
floofing.
by the way, we had to like stick him in the we had to call large item pickup for him.
Something.
I mean, this car has been running for 3 hours. So what does that tell you?
Why
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have to have it running?
Air conditioning. It's freaking hot out here.
Oh my God.
You're just in Florida. It's not that hot in Florida.
Oh, sure. And then
Yeah, my AC going.
sucking up the battery.
Not if it's running, it won't suck up the battery.
No, I'm saying if I sit here with my phone plugged in like it is now.
I don't think phones will suck up the battery.
Well, a lot of times the cigarette lighter won't work with the engine off.
Well,
Yeah.
mine does in the Mustang because that's how I wired it.
Well, yeah, with the Mustang, back when people smoked, you got to have that damn cigarette lighter. It's like Imperial with 4 cigarette lighters. They didn't want to stop for
Well,
anything.
it's just the way I wired it. I wired it to the front end of the relay instead of the back end of it. Steve, you're gonna stop by and you can get a ride in the pony.
Yeah.
Not that stuff. Not the Mustang.
Eh?
Eh?
I said if you ever stop by, I'll give you a ride in the Mustang.
Oh yeah.
Well, Steve's he had a Mustang. Of course, it was a '78 in orange, but still.
That's not even the snake. That's not a real Mustang. Come on.
No, it wasn't a real Mustang. Trust me.
Mine's a Gen 1 Mustang. Come on.
Would you call it? Well,
Is it convertible?
No, it's a hardtop.
Oh,
You haven't even seen a picture of my Mustang yet?
I have seen it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember if it was hardtop or convertible.
They call it a hardtop. There's three body options in 1970. There was something called a sportsback, which is what we call a fastback. A hardtop, which is mine, which is a notchback, and a convertible. Did you know that a guy brought a fastback in last month for the Cars and Coffee, and the rear window was a pop out? It's like, what, you can't even roll the rear window down on this? Is it like all the fastbacks? You can't roll down the rear window?
I think because it was just a little bitty window, wasn't it?
I didn't think it was much smaller than mine. I guess it was,
Yeah.
but it kind of takes. So it kind of makes the hardtop. But that's why they call you, Steve. Do you know the difference between a hardtop and a coupe?
I thought a coupe was the two-seater.
No. So here's the difference. It's the side windows. A coupe has a B pillar. A coupe has a straight pillar that separates.
That's the B pillar right
That's
there.
on the door to the window that's for the passenger rear seat. It's got a permanent post. Now a hardtop has all the windows rolled down, so you could actually put your hand all the way through the. You know what I'm saying? There's no B pillar. That's what makes so the Mustang's technically a hardtop, mine, because you can roll down all the side windows and have a total open space.
Yeah, I think with the '70 fastback, it was just the window was too. They couldn't really do that.
Interesting. Well, it's not until I saw his fastback, I'm like, what? There's a pop out. You can't roll the window down. I didn't realize that. So it's kind of like my hardtop has got one little thing that's kind of cooler than the fastback. At least in his case. I don't know.
Well, if I ride in your Mustang, I promise not to smoke in it.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
it just gives it authenticity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm looking at like pictures of a '70 Mustang fastback. That little window is just too small to roll down.
Interesting, Tony. I didn't ever really think about it.
Yeah.
So I made
This is the same.
special. Do what?
This is the same car that you rode in, Timmy, on Pensacola.
Now, which one
You know, I
crapped
was
out? You
thinking
had
that-
one that crapped out. The Tucson.
That was no, that's the Tucson is what I'm in now.
Oh, okay.
The Vicky's Equinox gave out.
Oh,
Now, who makes the Tucson? Is that Hyundai?
Hyundai, yeah.
Hyundai, yeah.
Yeah, because me and you and Lisa went to that very mediocre breakfast place, the Cracked Egg.
Yeah, and I didn't know you guys were getting in. I was smoking like a sieve in here, and you got in.
Boy, that was awful.
I didn't know you guys were going to get in, or I wouldn't have.
I pooped my pants. It was so bad. And you couldn't even tell I pooped my pants because the smoke was so bad.
Well, that's why, because back then we just smoked all the time and covered up everything else. And I'm so damn old. I went to the supermarket once, and the cart, or they call it down south, the buggy. It had this round thing like clipped to one side of it. I thought, oh yeah, it's an ashtray. It's like, no, old fucker. It was a cup holder. I'm so old, I thought it was an ashtray. Because when I was a kid.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, when I was a kid, you went to the bank, there was ashtrays on the damn wall. You know, there was ashtrays everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. But when I drive Uber, this stuff covers up the cigarette smoke like crazy.
Ah, cigarette magic.
Can you read it? Yeah, citrus.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple.
Cigarette magic.
Just a couple of squirts. You can't even tell anybody smoking.
Oh,
Can you
crap.
get
I
that at
got to try
Walmart?
that.
Huh?
You can get that at Walmart.
I get it at Publix.
Hey,
We
where
don't
do you
have
get
those here.
Asper cream? Because I went to Walmart and I couldn't find that shit anywhere.
They still
What
make
is it?
that?
Asper cream.
After cream?
Asperger
Asperger
cream, not Asperger's cream.
And I don't know. I've never heard of aspartame.
No, I think I've heard of it all my life, but
Well, yeah, they said the TV show, and the old lady would like open it and say, "There's no odor."
no, see, my cousin and her old lady kind of nurse caretaker said they lived by that stuff, and they totally, because I got my toe knuckle problem, and they said that for any kind of like ache you got, you rub that stuff on, it's perfect, and they just love it. And I went to Walmart looking for it. All I found was either anti-burn stuff, anti-mosquito itch stuff, or anti-smell stuff. I couldn't find anything about anti-ache stuff anywhere.
You might have to go to Walgreens or CVS.
I get. You'd think Walmart would have all that kind of crap.
Well, the problem is you end up like walking 8 miles to get anything at Walmart. At least the one we have here. I never even go there. I wear my shoes out trying to find shit. I guess there is a Walgreens not too far away here.
You're lucky because they're closing half of them down because they keep getting robbed.
No, here it's the CVS that died. Now it's got this big giant parking lot with nothing in it, so I don't know what they're going to do.
We get a lot of Walgreens that are closing down around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all closing down. And Steve Josh is moving to Illinois this month.
Oh, is he really?
Why the hell would he do that?
Because his friends are, and he has no idea what a hellhole that place is. When I drive through it, I just can't wait to get to the other side.
He gets up there, he's going to freeze his ass off.
Well, not only that, but the taxes are terrible. It's like when you go to, that's the one trip I dread because you got to fill up gas before you get there because the gas doubles. And the bugs just plaster your car through it. Even the Cruising USA video game back in the 90s, when you go through Illinois, that part of it just plastered bugs. It's just Illinois, and it's true. And the rest stops, the drinking water tastes like ass. And it's like, and the speed limit goes it's like 55 or 45 the whole time.
Yeah.
It never changed. Oh, get this, Steve. I went to Metropolis on the way back, and I'm like, I'm going to see that Superman statue. And you're absolutely right. You can't find the gosh damn thing. I went all the way to town. Now, finally, when I got home, I goggled it, and I felt like, oh, so that's where it is. But gosh, because they tell you in the exit, Superman statue here. So you go off the exit, and there's no other guide signs how to get there.
That was like the flatbed Ford in Winslow, Arizona.
Well, I've studied it. Next time I go through, I'll figure it out. But
no, there's actually on a corner somewhere in Winslow, Arizona. There's a flatbed Ford thing.
Also, if you go to, I can't remember the name. It's in Iowa.
Herbie, Iowa.
Supposedly the future birthplace of Captain Kirk. They
have
all kinds of Star Trek Kirk things.
Yeah,
it's Riverview or something like that, or James. I forget what it's called.
Well, Riverdale. That's where Archie and Jughead hang out.
It's not Riverdale. I got to look it back up. I used to know it.
See, this one, the kid didn't get probation because he got killed.
Yeah.
I thought you said he went and drove up to Cleveland and lived on his own.
What would you drive to Cleveland? Why would you drive to Cleveland?
It was a wrong channel. It's on my wrong channel timeline. I said, Steve said, did he die? And he's like, no, he moved to Cleveland on his own. So it's actually on the wrong channel. It's not, didn't make it to video, but it's on the time. My timeline now, Steve, is 5 hours of wrong channel moments.
Well, bust them out.
Well, they're not all, I've got different tracks. And if something really makes me laugh, I put it up a track. And if it really, really makes me laugh, it goes on the third track. And those are usually the ones that make it to the next wrong channel. I keep saying wrong channel, BabbleGab, Precious Moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like 4.5 hours of stuff that's just cute and worth keeping, but not exactly funny enough to, you know what I'm talking about? Kind of, it's
well, yeah, I did the same thing when I edited the wrong channel because we'd have lulls in our conversation and they would get cut out, and it seemed like we were just nonstop funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what the whole Precious Moment thing's about. It's kind of making people think this show's better than it is.
Yeah, but make people think the show's funny.
Yeah. Well, you were really good for a long time, Steve. You were good at those editing your magic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I had fun doing them, you know, because I would be sitting there editing and I'd be laughing my ass off the whole time.
Oh yeah.
I feel like about the last year you were your mind wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I don't think any of us were.
We were all out of our minds.
Maybe we just needed to go a different direction with the show. I don't know.
Well, that's kind of what this is.
That was the idea behind this fucking piece. I mean, this
we need to
wonderful
get
thing
away.
that we're doing now.
Allie, if you're watching this, you know we love you, but we had to get away from you. That's why we did this show.
This is painful. Oh, I love you, Allie.
Well, we tried to get Allie to guest on this show, and she stood us up. So
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember.
I still
Yeah,
like her. She's still a friend, but yeah, she kind of that show.
I do miss me and Allie when she did the world in 500 minutes.
You
with
would
Allie.
complain about that every day. You miss it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were funnier when we were doing our bullshit warm ups. We'd bullshit for like an hour before we actually started recording.
You know who loved that was Jay. He just loved Allie. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, right.
You know, Jay, I still want to kick his ass because you had the YouTube's Got Talent or whatever the fuck it was. And the only YouTube's Got Talent song I liked of the whole time you did it, for the whole 15 years you did that, there was only one song I liked and he gonged it.
Yeah.
Well, I think Steve changed the rules after a while to make it more.
Well, yeah, you had to have two gongs because our friend Donna was gonging every goddamn thing.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I had to change the rules on that show quite a bit because of Donna.
Well, I felt a little bad about it because these people on YouTube I don't think they did that to be judged. You know, they just
I don't know.
did
Some
it
of
to
them are really
express
horrible
themselves.
singers.
Do what?
Some of them were really horrible fucking singers.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. They were just expressing themselves. That's kind of how I felt bad making fun of people that weren't actually thinking they were in a competition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because I think if they really thought they were in a competition, they probably would have practiced more and did better.
Well, the problem is 80% of them were from like the Philippines. So it was all peelings, nothing more than peeling.
Good days, kind of good days.
No, I was working for H&R Block. We had a radio on in the office, and this guy was waiting for his appointment, and he was a Filipino dude. And that song came like had it on some easy listening station, just trying to be inoffensive as all hell. And he starts singing along, and he does start singing peelings. I was about done for the day.
When I was a night stalker at Winn-Dixie before Darren McGavin came and cleaned my closet, I was working there at night, and they had on the speakers, they were playing the oldies station or something, and they had that "Till I Die" from Butt, Sweat, and Tears playing. And I'd never heard it before. And you know that I don't believe in heaven, but I hope all that kind of crap. And there was this black guy that was working there too. I think he might have been a janitor or something. We both looked at each other. I don't think either one of us heard that song, and we were both like, "Motherfucker, what the hell is that shit?" Both of us at the same time were just like, "What the hell is this song?" It was the stupidest song either one of us had ever heard.
Burn when I die, when I'm gone.
Yeah, and
you won't have to hear this shit anymore.
Getting that guy, the guitar player that was on it, ended up being kind of half friends with him and getting him in the movie. It was just like
but you almost killed him in a car.
I almost killed him in my car. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, in his autobiography, he almost killed some popular blues, legendary blues singer in his. So
well, I mean, as you know, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
So Steve, that birthday cake you got for the kid, that's only the second time I've ever seen one of those cupcake cakes where it's like a bunch of cupcakes and then they frost over the top of it.
Oh yeah, I don't think he likes to order those, and I'd rather just a regular cake. But
Well, it's weird because you think, oh, I'm going to cut into this cake, and then it's nothing but paper.
yeah, cupcakes, yeah.
Hey, did you see the video, the Transforma one, Steve, where Hetty Weed Molly turned Terry into a cupcake?
No, I didn't see that one.
He went to go eat them. It's funny if you look at the Transforma channel. It's from a few months ago.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I'm behind on everything. Ow.
Yeah, if you like Apology None, check out the Transforma channel on YouTube, because
ERA
Apology
and
None are the stars of all of the videos.
Yeah.
Terry's basically the host, so he's all in all of them.
And don't forget to like and share.
Please like and share. And if you're on IMDb, for goodness sake, please give Last Page of Summer a good rating. If you like it, I don't want anything false, but if you like the show, please do, because there's a lot of assholes that are giving it 1 stars.
We're gonna find them and we're gonna kick their butts.
Yeah, the last time I looked, it only had 16 ratings and 5 of them were 1 stars, which is BS, because they don't even demand reviews or anything. They just can review bomb shit. It kind of pisses me off.
That's who we need on the show. They get a review bra on the show.
That's fine. Yeah, you like him because the way he looks like he's from the 20s.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that if you give a 1 star or a 10 star on YouTube, you should be required to put in a paragraph rating. I think that should be the rule. Because review bombs can go the other way too. You know, people don't even see the movie, but because it matches their political beliefs, they give it a 1 star or a 10 star. You know, or you know, they just want to be a troll.
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
It'd
be cool. It'd be funny to be like a troll, like a doll troll. You know, the dolls with the hair that stands
Oh,
up.
yeah, like on the Drew Carey show where the fat broad had about 800 of them.
Oh, gross. You just had to ruin it.
She had an iMac. Remember she had an iMac? One of those like triangular iMacs? Back when they were like still had CRTs on them.
I really think I only saw maybe 3 or 4 episodes of that. I really only watched shows that they were in syndication, like when Fox would show Seinfeld and Home Improvement every day at 6 p.m. You know, I would watch them.
That was when I watched Friends. I actually got into watching. God forbid, but you know, you get caught up in these like soap opera type shows because it's like, oh, what's going to happen next? And then you realize they just like screw around with the plot just to piss people off.
Well, you know, Friends, you can see them on YouTube. The blooper reels are a lot funnier than the show.
Oh yeah.
It happens a lot with shows and movies.
There was a show with the comedian Richard Lewis, and Don Rickles played his father, and it was medium funny. But one show ran short, so they ran the bloopers at the end. I about broke a rib. Because Rickles off the cuff, Rickles, you know, when he's just riffing, was the funniest guy ever to live, I think.
Don Rickles had a lot of bloopers on a lot of shows.
Well, yeah, because he was kind of funny scripted, but off script, boy, oh boy.
You could even see a blooper of Don Rickles on Dick Van Dyke's show.
Ah.
Where he's ad-libbing again and fucking over here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I binge watched all the Dick Van Dyke shows because I thought it was the best sitcom ever, and I realized that it wasn't.
Yeah.
That it still had genius and it still had some of the best episodes ever, but it was balanced with a lot of bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's like anything else.
I think
I hated it when you put Richie out there.
Well, Richie didn't even kill it. What killed it was they would always have these episodes where they would put on some vaudeville show.
Yeah.
And Sally would do her stupid.
I am a fine musician.
There was
Now, I like
nothing more
that bit.
unsexy than that. And the other thing that we all hated was when they would have some minority from Italy that's visiting, and he's like some damn bullfighter or something, and they would always have they'd always try to squeeze some minority into the plot. And they would just do it so forcefully.
Well, the best one of those was when they had the kid, and they thought the kid was mixed up in the hospital.
Yeah, they thought Richie was.
That was done good. That was done right because it was hilarious. But sometimes they would just force it in, like they get a new housekeeper who's some Mexican immigrant who doesn't speak any English, and it's just
I remember that one. Yeah.
But there were like 4 or 5 of them. There's one with a bullfighter, and they're so forced. And it just seems like they're out of ideas on this. This kind of like the vaudeville ones. They're out of ideas now.
Yeah.
And another one I didn't like was Stacy, his brother, who was Jerry Van Dyke.
I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I liked the first one when he was sleepwalking. And it was only when he was sleepwalking where he was a genius, where he was just everybody loved him. And when he wasn't sleepwalking, he was shy and wouldn't talk to anybody. That was funny. But then they brought him back like a season later where he was just an effing nut job. I'm like, he was just a nut, and like he was needed to be in the sailor sign. I'm like, what did you do to this guy? And I think that's a trope. And Tim Allen's guilty of it too, where they bring in a brother and make the brother so bad that it makes him look good.
Every show did that. Magnum PI, they would every so often. It was always Higgins's fucking cousin from some damn place.
Did they do it to where they made Higgins look good because his cousin was such a dumbass? Because that's kind of the trope.
Well, because it was always, the actor playing like the cousin, and because every cousin looks exactly like you.
And then
I did.
I don't think the actor particularly. I mean, I think it was an anomaly using Dick Van Dyke's real brother for it. But I'm just saying, it seems like they bring a brother in or a cousin and they make them dumb as a box of rocks just to make the lead look good. And that's kind of what annoys me.
Well, no, they weren't. Well, the Higgins ones, Higgins, had an Irish cousin who was like a Catholic priest who was like drunk all the time. But they just wanted to just played it for laughs. It didn't really make him look any dumber than he already was.
Well, it seems, I guess it's personal because it's not nowadays, but when I was a kid, when we made movies, that's kind of what Darren would kind of do. He would put me in the movie just to make me a horrible person to make him look good, you know?
As you do.
Well, it's okay. And I'm not complaining about it, but I do notice it when it's in prime time and they do that. I'm like, they're doing the same thing Darren used to do to me. He's like bringing someone in to make him look good just by making him purposely a dumbass.
Yeah.
Well,
gentlemen, I'm calling it quits for the
I think
night.
we all are.
We're way over.
We're over time.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
All right. Yes.
Join us, Steve.
Yeah, we got to keep doing this, man, because you're worth 10 of those other clowns.
Yeah, seriously. At least you showed up. The other guys didn't even let us know.
Yeah.
And I hope that's okay.
Big deal.
Well, like we said, I got to take it week from week.
Yep.
Well, that's baby steps, Steve.
Yeah.
But I got to get you a Steve Arini or we're going to be screwed. So even if you do it on your phone, we got to figure something out. Like I said, this isn't like a next week thing. This is maybe next few months.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, love you, Dal. Love you guys.
All right. Bye, everybody. Tune in next week when Timmy says.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.